Mhm.
Okay, well, we don't need to get up, so,
Okay.
okay, we're ready. Okay. Well, good morning, everyone. We've already done the pledge with our social service board meeting. So, looking for approval of the agenda, and there is one item added onto our issue form. And that, okay, so looking for a motion.
So move.
Warren
Second.
and Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, on to consent items.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
seconded by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, on to issue form. Let's take care of the reappointing of Cody Benson to the Red River Valley Development Association. So he represents the East Polk County side on this association.
I move.
Okay, Paul,
Second.
seconded by Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, on to issue form. Paul.
AMC was, believe it or not, I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of good information. My first meeting was the transportation infrastructure. That was in depth. The presenters were great. So there was no problem with hearing them speak. Everything went well. There's a new chair and a vice chair. Wayne Johnson is the chair. Julie Chipson is the vice. I don't know these people, but they seem to, during their discussion, they seem to know what they're talking about. So that's a good deal. Then the following day, or that afternoon, there was I like also the luncheon presentations. The speaker was good. To me, when you have a person that presents an energized topic like that, it makes all of the hubbub that we experience in this position that much better when you look at it from his perspective. That's how I take it. He had a good perspective. He noted the importance of the county fairs, which, that is an important thing for me as well. The afternoon session, I went to the municipal waste. Now, you really have to be up on your stuff to listen to those folks talk. And then it was a little bit hard to hear in there until the audiovisual guy came in and fixed that. But they did a good job on explaining everything. I wish our guy would have been there because he knows more about this than anything, especially when we're testing the incinerators and
Stack.
stuff. And so I could follow along just fine, just because of his. And so the rest of the state, though, is a little bit behind, it seems like to me.
They are
on that issue. And so I look at it as I'm fortunate to know at least what's happening with these. And they were talking about the fees, the extra fees, and I didn't dare tell them that we had a fail and we had to pay for it again because they were talking about the cost of what these stack tests cost. They don't have a clue. Get a fail, but and what John would share with us is we want to be ahead of the game, and so you volunteer to be on this staff. Well, there was somebody there that was kind of staying that, and one of the speakers is the guy that comes to our meetings.
From
I don't know his name. I just recognized his face, and he was always referencing our 7-county organization.
It was I know well,
Michael Cook, Dan Fish.
No.
Hmm?
Well, I know Gary Johansson was down there from Norman County.
Yes, yep, I seen him, but one of the presenters.
Oh,
So he know.
was Brian down there? Brian Olson?
Yes, I think that's the guy. Yep.
Okay,
Mhm.
that's
So anyhow, I really enjoyed it. I think basically it's because I've been long enough to understand what's going on, and so that was great. That's all I got.
Almost, there are so few other incinerators.
mhm.
Yes.
That's why it seems like we're ahead of other people. Nobody else does
Hmm. Hey, they showed our air blowing thing that blows the stuff off the line. That was in his presentation, and you know, so that I just thought that was all cool. That was stuff we seen, and people are at least got a good presentation. Thank you.
Warren.
Okay, we had corrections yesterday, 130 in the facility yesterday. Of those, 52 were from Polk County. Uh, Norman County had 10, which is quite a jump for them.
Yeah.
And Red Lake had 4. There were 23 ICE inmates, 15 from the Marshal Service. Average has been 122. Of that group, about 28 female, and we have
Wow.
capacity for 30 female, so it's bouncing right on the top there. For the year average is 133. One unit is still closed because of staffing issues,
Mhm.
but seem to be operating just quite well. The new trainees are still getting some experience, and that's the reason for the shutdown. Income-wise, Polk County paid in 43,613, ICE 40,565, Department of Corrections 22,500, Marshal Service 53,390. That's a total of 163,000. You add in money from the juvenile center, and let's see, the juvenile center was don't see that number here, but 90,930 from juvenile center, and the transition program contributed another 62,000. You add all those up, and it's over $310,000 worth of revenue.
Wow, that's good.
So it's that more than covers any cost of the bond issue.
Yeah.
And staff-wise, now they're closer to full than they've ever been before. There were 3 new appointments, 1 in the juvenile center, 2 in the corrections, in the jail. And there was 1 resignation, and there were 3 terminations. The terminations basically are people who were approved for a job and never show up. And that's it for that. We had Pine to Prairie last week on Thursday. Forfeiture fund then was up to $23,881. They've received their 2-year grant of $509,000, and from that there was about a 4% reduction. Of that, the total 509 total, $322,000 is for reimbursement to the counties for the officers that they contribute. It's split 6 full-time officers from the counties, from 6 counties, and then there's 5 half-time officers from other counties. But so it pays about maybe 10% or something of the cost.
Mhm.
Anyway, that's it, and that's probably enough for me from there. On the conference, I thought everything went well, except I was really dissatisfied with my ride home on Wednesday.
I made it to my doctor's appointment right on time, but I left at 4:30.
On Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it was a trip to get from Fargo to Fertile.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was not.
I prayed for you guys.
it was
Well, that's
not,
good,
it
thank
was,
you.
yeah, it was not a fun drive back home. And I'm glad that most of it was done in the light, because at the business portion of the meeting, as soon as I finished my duties there, I left. It just,
It was terrible, and I left and it was a little bit rainy, just a
mhm.
little bit. So getting through, and then there was nothing, and then Fargo it rained.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like it was bumper cars out there. You know, it was ridiculous. So, but yeah, I'm glad that everybody made it home safely. So,
Yeah, there was several times when the car was,
yeah, and unfortunately, I had went by a semi accident where the driver was killed. So,
Oh,
yeah, it's I there was, and then there was a really serious rollover that I passed too that had happened just before. You know, and it's
what day was that?
that was later on Wednesday.
On Wednesday?
there was
Nerve
a,
wracking.
was
Yeah.
that ribbon of ice on the right lane, on the right side, your right wheel was on top of it.
Well, I did not have, I think I had about 30 minutes of driving on 59 that was clear. Otherwise, I had ice. And then I also drove through some snow part of the way. And then it was blowing. And I mean, it was like, you know, one minute I'm in a snow globe, the next minute I'm like, oh,
Snow globe.
Well, that ribbon of ice, I pulled over in the left lane, I just stayed there from Alex to Moorhead.
yeah, no, it
Maybe
was,
about 5 miles I went back in the right lane, but
yeah.
people would pass me and give me a dirty look, and I said, well, tough luck, staying over here.
Okay, Gary.
December 4th, I was on KROX Valley Talk, kind of just updating what's letting people know what little bit you can cover about our budget in 20 minutes, but at least referred them to the information that's on the website too. AMC conference. I don't know. I was somewhat depressed. The Minnesota rural counties met on Sunday night, and of course, no big surprise. The state of Minnesota is going to be broke. The surplus is already being planned to be covered for the next 26, 27. And and then, of course, our priorities. Number one was something we had talked about: human services, IT, modernizing, solid waste, and mental health. So those were the top priorities, where there'll be money and where things are going to go. They also reminded us that 2026 is elections. So all positions will be up, and they'll be doing a lot of campaigning, and that certainly will complicate the legislative
Sure.
session. Right?
Mhm.
Uh, Corrections, and Warren covered that. He also presented, just a reminder to the board, that of the $1.2 million on the opioid settlement, $96,000 was going to go to corrections. So they are, working on that and making everyone aware of that. And then coming up, Joan and I have got extension, and then I also have my last Laurel meeting. The big item on there is how we're going to deal with the lunch breaks for employees. It's mandatory. So going to close the place down for 30 minutes? I don't think so. So we've got some discussion on that. And then public health, as with Norman and Monoman, is on Friday
yeah.
also. And then I think corrections department meeting is on Friday
Yeah.
also. So kind of a busy week, but no, it'll be interesting to see how the legislative session works out. And it's nice to see. I mean, even on the general government, it looked like solid waste management was at the top. But like I say, everything costs money, right? And that's the problem.
Joe, one extra thing, Tri-Valley, I went online, they had an online meeting that Tuesday night then
Mhm.
because of the weather, and we met the new gal. She seems very good.
Yeah, I think she will be. We'll have her to one of our meetings here.
Sure. So I just wanted to add
Okay.
that.
Yep, okay,
thanks.
good, yep. Okay, so I had, drug task force with Warren, and then, the Health and Human Services, the AMC, we just had a Zoom meeting to kind of go over the platform amendments that were coming at the annual meeting. I have planning and zoning, which will be later on in the agenda. Had AMC, Board of Directors, and we had a lot of discussion, as usual on our, kind of what our priority issues are going to be. We discussed like maybe just doing, just one, or, doing 3, 5, whatever. But so kind of like the top 5 were technology modernization, SNAP, Medicaid, bonding, solid waste, and then the MAFPA CWDA. And so we decided to go with 3, which was the technology modernization, SNAP, Medicaid, and the MAFPA CWDA, which, they're all health and human service issues, but they're kind of the issues that are current, right now. And one of the things that we're going to kind of push with the technology and modernization is that, updating the software that we're using will help with all these fraud issues going on, that hopefully, we can kind of get those things under control, because there's no excuse for what's going on. And then also, because we were, kind of, talking about the role that counties play, and just kind of some stats. So, of all the roads in the US, 45% are county. 40% of bridges are county bridges, and 1 out of every 50 people work for counties. So, there's quite a few that are involved, with counties. And then I also went to an ag and rural development forum, and we had a presenter from that works with farm business management. And the one thing I thought was interesting, that he had a picture of the state, with all the different counties on it, and they had of how many farms that farm business management works with in each county. And with Polk County, they work with over 75 farms. And that's just the farms that they work with. It's not, there's a lot of other farms they work with. And there were only 3 other counties that are over 75 farms. It was Martin, Stearns, and Goodhue. So, that really, cements how important ag is to our county. So, and then I really didn't get much of a chance to go to any of the breakout sessions. I was elected chair for the Health and Human Services Committee. So then I was doing some other behind the scenes work on that. And then I was also on a panel for behavioral mental health. And then Oh, another thing from our board of directors, we had a lot of discussion, and I'm not sure if it's been in the public safety, but the pension overview for probation and telecommunicators. I don't know who, is that your department? Was that, Gary, is that yours?
I don't know where that one fits in. It wouldn't be under corrections.
I mean, like under AMC, which one of the
On the
policies?
policy committee?
Which one?
It's general government.
Okay. Yeah, I was,
So, but yeah, so there was a lot of discussion on that, and there's been a work group, and so they had kind of a recommendation, and so the board voted to support the recommendation that was brought forth because we know that the legislator is going to push something forward, and
What did they support?
let's see. So it's where is it now?
They supported, for the telecommunicators, they supported a pension, a separate PRA classification.
Mm-hmm.
No, that wasn't on our agenda at all.
Yeah, well, I think it's
That was the meeting I was in. That was
No, it wasn't there.
Hilgert went over it.
because it's vesting of 3 years. Employee contribution is 8.82%, employer 7.5%, unreduced retirement age is 60, and past service can be purchased by the employee. So I kind of figured that that would be, the best possible scenario, like for counties. So just kind of decided to go ahead and support it, because like some of the things that the legislature has proposed would be a lot more detrimental to counties. So that's kind of why we decided to go ahead with that. And then I had a SHAC meeting that I just had joined virtually. Did a lot of talk on vaccines, and there was, kind of some discussion because there's vaccine rates are going down. And so then there was some statistics of since 1974, they figure that there's been 154 million deaths that have been prevented from vaccines. And, currently it's like between 3.5 and 5 million that it prevents. So that's, quite some numbers, but okay, I think that's should be pretty much covering my last 2 weeks. So, okay, Mike.
Morning.
Good morning.
How's everyone?
Good.
Also, they have it on there.
So this memo that I have on the agenda.
Okay. I think we did the resignation last time when we did the sworn in
Yes.
I think we did that. But if we need to go through it again, we can.
Well, if we,
I don't have it on the agenda. There's nothing in
No,
there.
I think it was on there. I think I made the motion.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a new vacancy, but there's nothing there, so Mike is saying it was already
I'm
done.
pretty sure we did because it was
Yeah.
that day that we got the
Yeah, unless there was
resignation.
another
So
one in the
yeah,
last week.
because I mean the agenda we have does not have it. Our
Yep.
printed copy does not have it on. So
This is get here.
right there. Perfect. Thank you. All right. We'll start off with that too loud. Start off with our civil process for the month of November. We did 65 total services. Looks like most of them were summons and complaints, and subpoenas are the two high ones on there. And those 65 paid service was 2,169 on that. And then our transports for the month of November, we had total of 218 hours, just over 218 hours of transports, covering 8,203 miles. Just looking at some of the numbers, it looks like a lot of out-of-state transports. And in-state were the two high ones here. I'll cover that in the next one. Yeah, so in-state and out-of-state are the two high. They're higher than we did last year at this time, but still getting close to that average, 8,203. Any questions on transports you guys have?
Oh, we're good.
All right, next one is our calls for service through our dispatch center. We've got a total of, it's hard to see there, but 2,231 total calls right there into our center. 600 of them were emergency and 1,631 were non-emergency. And like anything, it's mostly wireless cell phones that are calling. A few wires, 48 wireline, but mostly cell phones. And there's kind of a breakdown of the call count by wireless. Any questions on that? All right, for our calls for service for the month of November, looks like we had, animal complaints of 14, which is about average for us. Assist other agency, 18. Burglary was 3. 7 business alarms. 141 civil process. It's kind of covered in the last one. Domestics, we had 4 non-violent domestics, 1 violent. 4 DWIs. The firearm incident was an accidental discharge hunting season incident. 3 frauds, which, there's always frauds going on. People are calling nonstop, it seems like, trying to get other people's money. So try to put out as much information as we can for people to be aware about anything new that comes in, or even past ones. It's good to, just a reminder. 10 juvenile complaints.
So what would be considered a juvenile complaint? I mean, what?
So besides, we get child protection reports, which are listed somewhere different. So a juvenile complaint is maybe getting called to the school for a juvenile that maybe has brought something that they weren't supposed to into the school, or acting up. They're looking for law enforcement just to assist with stuff like that, or at home, unruly kids, stuff like that. We had 24 motorist assist. Well, winter is coming, so actually these last 2 storms we had, it was pretty bad weather out, but as far as cars in the ditch, it wasn't terrible. People were actually driving pretty well, so that was
Good.
That was positive. 11 motor vehicle crashes for the month of November. 9 public assists. 5 reckless drivers. School patrol, about normal, a little bit down in November just because we had that holiday break. So December might be down a little bit too, but still 84 times in the school, that's pretty good. 6 suspicious activity and suspicious vehicle. So we get a lot of traffic complaints, or we like when people call, they see something out of the norm, they call, which is great. If you see something, say something, right? Because everybody knows what's normal in their community. So when you see something unnormal, make sure people are calling. Traffic stops, we had 191. And then the transports. And then welfare checks, 14. So that's still high. I wish that was down more, but It's good that people are concerned. So we had a total of 724 calls for service for the month of November. And then we have on the opposite is I think the previous one too, and for October I don't know if that's on here. I have it here, but that's all I got. Any questions for me? All right.
Anything
Out
else?
of the ditch.
Try to stay out of the ditch. Thank you.
Yep. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I've got the agenda listed as Garrett from with Mr. Olson from Langley or Columbia Township area. Contact me. And, if you want to start with them, their questions,
Okay.
see what Garrett can add down here.
So do that for the presentation then?
It would seem reasonable that you
Yeah, I just got a little statement to make.
Okay. You want to?
Yep. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Alan Olson. I live in Polk County, Columbia Township, Section 28, just north of Langby. Some of the members or residents here, we requested to appear at commissioners' meeting this morning to hopefully get some questions answered and resolve some issues the property owners have with the current land survey that is being performed in Columbia Township. I'll try to give you a short history and brief synopsis of the issues we're having, and then hopefully there's some time for some of the other residents to say a couple of things. The property that I own was first homesteaded in 1894 by Andrew Anderson. It stayed in the family for about 50 years. Gus Otness purchased it and owned it until my parents purchased the property in 1959. Originally, property was 160 acres, but was sold off until it was down to 60 acres. In 1967, my parents sold an 8-acre and a 2-acre plot to Arnold and Viva Scott. Arnold had the property surveyed and planted trees to the north and west boundaries. This property was sold a few more times after that and is currently the property owned by Darrell Donnell. A new well and septic was installed by my brother-in-law, Eugene Klinke, who owned the property for a few years. This well and septic was installed by the Minnesota Chippewa tribe under the guidance of the property lines at that time. In 2010, Darrell applied for a building permit from Polk County to build a shed south of his house. Polk County granted the permit and sent him an aerial view of his property lines and the county setback from County Road number 4. In 2020, Darrell applied for another building permit to move his one-stall garage and build a garage next to his house and attach his house to the new garage. That permit was denied as Polk County claimed his well and septic were on my property from the west. Darrell was also denied a loan from a bank for this purpose, for this reason. The new aerial view showed the line had moved east about 50 to 70 feet, and Darrell's property extended east past Polk County Road number 4. It also showed that I now own a sliver of property east and south on the other side of County Road number 4, which would have never been a part of this original plot of land. The aerial view that shows that I own the driveway to the property purchased recently by Jason and Jessica Groves, who are present today, and I know this is not accurate. It never was a part of any property that was ever in that original plot. In trying to resolve this, Darrell and I have met with multiple county representatives and have attended multiple township and town meetings. Mark Holy, blessed is his memory, met with us on a couple occasions. Darrell and I were instructed by the county engineer to drive a stake where we thought the property line should be, and they would be certified. Darrell and I didn't feel it was the right process to take, and so we didn't do that. Darrell and I also received a letter from the county stating that we should resolve our dispute in court. Darrell and I are not in any kind of dispute. We get along just fine as neighbors, and I know where the property lines are at. Again, in an effort to resolve this issue, Daryl purchased a piece of property next to what was my mom and dad's, my parents' home, and is now mine. In order for us to trade some property, I would deed some footage to him. He was going to deed some footage to me. No surveyor at this time will touch this property or survey it because it's so messed up. In a June 11th, 2024 town meeting in Langby, we were told by Whitseth that they were going to resurvey the area and this would all get straightened out. I was told a Whitseth representative would call me in advance, come onto my property and show me the closest reference marker. Those in attendance of the meeting were told by the township to back down and let this process work. Most of us in attendance today have watched your November 18th meeting on YouTube. It was stated at that meeting that Whitseth is 80 to 90% completed with the field work for the survey. Whitseth has been in the field, we acknowledge that, as I've spoken to many county property owners, many Columbia Township owners in the township. They have established section corners and some existing markers. I've talked to quite a few people that were on the property. To my knowledge, though, Whitseth has never been on my property, Daryl's property, Don Radke or Tim Johnson's property that are present today. These are the properties that are in question, and Daryl's property is the one that started the whole concern. On a side note, I'm also president of St. Paul's Lutheran Church in Langby. We have a small cemetery called Emmanuel Cemetery, and it's to the west of our church. These graves have been in this location for over 125 years. The new aerial view shows that our graves are on Lyle Ball's property and that our gravesite is 100 yards to the west. We were told this would be resolved also. No one has contacted me on this matter. Daryl Donnell has done everything right, proper, and legal to try and resolve this. He has spent hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars on this 5-year-old nightmare, and he, I believe, deserves an answer and a resolution to this matter. Our questions to the commissioners are this. Question number 1, the land hasn't moved, the buildings haven't moved, the trees haven't moved. How can the property lines move? If your answer is GIS or GPS services used, I have documentation that says GIS is a tool for gathering information and can be right on or can be several feet off. Question number 2, how can Whitseth be mostly completed with the field work if they haven't set foot on our properties that are in question? Question number 3, is the county planning to compensate us property owners for new easements for the land we are now showing owning on the east side of County 4? I have a copy of that easement originally. It now shows we own property on that other side. In conclusion, those of us attending this meeting over this issue are not troublemaking rednecks. We are law-abiding taxpayers that are now just looking for some help and some answers from you, our county representatives, as to how to resolve this property issue. Any questions?
Alan, what was your last name?
Olson.
Olson.
There are a couple other people present today that may have some thoughts also, but it's up to you guys what. Those are some of our questions.
Any other comments that Al has not touched on that someone wants to comment on?
Yes, myself, I have a bunch of paperwork, I have correspondence with the state, I'd like to show you.
Yourself to the minute.
Daryl Donnell,
Thank you, Daryl.
oh, to come up or?
Yep.
Thank you.
Now, this is all correspondence I've gotten from the state. A lot of it in letters. I'd like to have you guys have copies of it to show you what I have found out here. There's a few maps and stuff here I'd like you also to have. Start with this right here. This is a letter I received from email I got from Josh Dickerson from the state showing that the County Road 4, which says never gonna move, it says where it is. And it has been built where it's supposed to be built. This is a letter I have and
We'll enter it into the record.
well, actually, everybody's got a copy here at you. And this is also another letter I received from him, and it's got a picture in back showing the property markers. There's a picture showing where the line used to be, where it was represented. It'll be on this page right here. This is before the property change move happened. That's what was recognized by the state. You can see it's in a perfectly straight line. There is no correction line there.
Mhm.
And then this brings the issue of Don Radke's property. I have a copy of this. Don Radke has a deed, and it says he owns 8 acres. And the property description was done by a surveyor twice now. Once back before my time in '88, and another time Murray did it. And now, if you look at the top, he's supposed to own 8 acres. Now we measure it out by the surveyor, and he only owns 7 because of this property shift. And I asked the surveyor why this is, and he said when this was all done, it was done by occupation. He said the highway is never going to move. He said there's a property description on that highway, and that's what all these property descriptions go off of. He said, that's what he told me. That's why all this is all written out. Now all of a sudden, everything shifted and everything is missing, gone. Everything, every piece of property in this whole section has to be redone now. And Josh Dickerson also talks about in there, County Road 4 should be a monument, because that's what everything went off of, all the way up from back in the 1800s up till now. And this is another map when they laid out Don Radke's place. This is from 1988. My property is on there, and also when I purchased, and also Don Radke's and Tim Johnson's. Tim Johnson is also a neighbor. He's also out property too. Missing it, just property's gone. Copy of that. And this is a copy of my variance. Hand that around. And on there it shows where Polk County used that highway as a monument to give me my variance for my property, which now it shows my building would be in the middle of the road if you went by the property descriptions.
So just a question for you. So do you know, like, County 4, has that been redone at some point? I mean, like moved or
For my time before I got there, it would have had to be.
1981, it was
Nin-
redone.
1981? So like, how was it previously? I mean, that was way before my time.
They shortened the curve a little bit, leaving Langby,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a big dip. They filled that in, and probably just straightened it a little bit around the curve, but mainly filled in that dip and then resurfaced it.
So it wasn't changed
It wasn't moved
drastically.
drastically.
Okay. Okay.
This would be correspondence from the county I got before the property line shift and after. These are black. I guess that's the colored one there. These are black and white. Oops, sorry about that. And this would be also correspondence from Josh Dickerson describing about how they would have to, county or the state would have to Do you reimburse these people because the lines have moved from where they originally were? And that's all I wanted to show you, or correspondence from the state, so you can read and look at this, all this information I have. This just touches the information I do have on this. I have a lot more city maps and stuff at home about laying out everything. If you're interested, I can get them for you. But what I understand is I have all this information, how it used to be, how can this all change over? Because there was never a correction line there, and that's what's screwing up everybody in this whole area.
Okay,
Thank you.
yep, thank you. Anybody else?
I'm Mike McCall
Good morning.
in the city council. I'm here, Paul is here as well.
Hi.
I didn't have all the fancy supporting material, but I do have a plat map from 1902. It's pretty clearly marks where our boundaries are. And I just would like to state that we want our boundaries back to where they were. That's simple. Any questions about why we want this or what we can do to help?
I mean, I guess,
What steps do we need to take to get this resolved?
Go through the remonumentation, I think it's trying to work back towards something and then figure out what to do.
Because now, when I bought my property, I owned what's now part of the parsonage of the church next to it. And now the church owns most of my property, so it's a mess. We need this fixed.
okay, so you're further south.
I have the schoolhouse,
Okay. Okay, yep.
so this mess goes all the way, quite a ways into the city.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
You're able to condense down to.
Yeah, so pretty much the concern is that everybody here is that right around Langley area.
Yes.
So do you want to go to that? The Minnesota board review up. And then, okay. All right, so Garrett Baravich, Widseth, Polk County Surveyor. So I've been dealing with the Columbia Township. God, I can't see much. Okay, so here's kind of the area that we broke down. I submitted this to the state of Minnesota regarding everything that I personally have done in Section 28, other surveyors. Okay, is there a Zoom?
Right.
So Section 28. So the main area they're looking at and talking about when you're talking the correction, right? Yep. Is that corner right there,
Which corner?
right here.
Okay, thanks.
So this corner right here. So, or no, sorry, now I got it. Yeah, right here. Okay. So here's the monument by the church that everybody has agreed upon for pretty much ever. The town site of Langley's first edition, the original town site, call out that corner. So I think everybody's always been in agreement on that corner by the church, right?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So originally this line right here, U.S. Fish and Wildlife had did a survey, so the northwest corner of the section 28, there's an iron pipe there, matches the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, matches the U.S. Highway 2 corridor, everything like that. So everybody in agreement with that pipe up there, okay? U.S. Fish and Wildlife did a survey quite a ways back. I'm not sure the exact date.
I could address that if you will. My parents owned the property that there was a dump on. The city of Langby, village of Langby had a dump on Ulverson Lake. Lyndon Johnson at that time had a beautification project to clean up because you could see that dump from Highway 2. So my dad entered into an easement, and I believe it was 99 years or something, around that lake, the property he owned line, so they could clean it up. And then, you know, he really couldn't do anything on that property. And that would have been like 1970. And then I have it in the deed here, but shortly thereafter, then Fish and Wildlife, however, they took it over and made it a waterfall production area.
Yeah, up in the north.
Up in the north.
Yeah,
So-
up in this area, it's waterfall production where the
So Halverson Lake, is that the one right by Highway 2?
Yes,
Yeah.
and right,
By
it's
the-
right west of my property, yes, it's
Okay.
right along Highway 2, yes.
okay.
Okay.
So so what they had did a straight line on that line when they did their survey. They also put a section corner down here, about 84 feet south of the corner that everybody's used, that the town site of Langby has used, the first edition of Langby has used. Through this process, I've talked to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they said that, yeah, do not accept the corner. It's erroneous, because what they did is what's called a double proportionate measurement, which they should have never done, because there was already way more information that would establish that corner, including the town site. The town site's a Langby. So why they didn't,
That corner right there, the one.
that corner right here.
Fish and Wildlife said don't use that one?
Use this one. Don't use theirs. It's about 80 some feet south of it, which if you can see, if you put a corner 80 feet south of it, what it's going to do to the township,
Sure.
town site of Langby. Nothing good. Okay. This, and we have this discussion all the time at the state level. Okay. This grant monumentation program's coming out now. 30 years too late. I mean, this should have been done prior to GIS, prior to computers, prior to that, because the thing that happens is these lines are put in there based off of ProWest. ProWest is a GIS consultant down in the metro area, and they just take aerial image, boom, boom, take your four corners of your section, start straight lining everything. They don't take into account anything else but straight lines. So when Polk County originally got their GIS system up and running, ProWest originally set it up, got it going, and then the county took it over from there. The county, when they receive survey data, they adjust their maps. So their maps become more accurate. In this case, on that line, that's a case of where they got new survey information. Amanda did a survey. Amanda Brewstead in the back corner is a surveyor from Langby area, Bagley area. She did a survey on this corner right here. Okay. She's put this kink in there. So from a straight line over to this kink is about 60-foot difference. Okay. The reason there's fence line in here, there's tree line in here, is part of her evidence to accept that there should be a kink in that line. One of the biggest other pieces of information is the first addition to Langby. Also has that same bearing on that line as Amanda used. I mean, it's a little bit off, but everything's a little bit off, but it's not a straight line. The first addition on Langby, when they laid out this part of Langby, they actually went around this whole area down here and had distances around the entire deal. So this whole area in here of Langby was laid out with distances. It's one of the first pieces of surveying evidence ever in this area, ever, like 1912, I think. Or one of them was 1912, maybe the other one was, but I can look at that if we need to. So at the point when Amanda did her survey, I think, what year was that?
2015.
20,
December of 14 is what's on my corner survey.
yeah. So then that corner moved, the GIS was updated. So Daryl presents maps where it was straight line before the move and then after the move. That is why it moved, because there is better information to support this corner than what was once a straight line. Okay.
If I would have held a straight line, the deer dogs would have lost 60 feet of their property,
60.
which nobody's commented about. Deer dogs losing 60 feet of their property.
Okay.
You don't have a well and septic.
Okay, we're gonna keep moving forward. Okay, up here, this is the highway intersection of the road going into Langby, Highway 2. This is where MnDOT used their corner in their maps to purchase land, purchase right away, go in each direction. Okay, this point, as you can see right here, how this road curves at the end, and they ended up using that intersection. Okay, this here is a split between what is the north quarter corner, which is also called out on the US Highway 2 plan. It calls out this facility right here, which was once I think a dump site. And then that is your midpoint between the two. So there is a difference there. They're not one and the same. Okay. I get it that Josh Dickerson wants to not have to redo anything, but they are not one and the same.
Josh Dickerson is the District 2 MnDOT
surveyor. And he was not the one who originally did that survey or anything. He's just trying to back up the information that they originally had on that survey. Okay. So as you can see, the 16th line's over here. The center line of the highway is over here. Here's the 16th line coming down. Here's the center of the highway. Let's continue to go around the section. Okay. This corner here is in, matches up with MnDOT's information, matches up with a bunch of surveys. Coming down to this quarter corner here, same thing, it was put in as a split between a CIM monument here that's been, oh, sorry, I didn't go far enough. This is the quarter corner put in as a split based off of a split between the south west corner, which has been used by probably 5-6 surveyors and been used the whole time. Except U.S. Fish and Wildlife, who ended up putting a corner about 100 and some feet south. Also talked to U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and they said, no, that is erroneous. There is also a distance call from the railroad, which the railroad is one of the most important evidence. We go back in history over time because most of these towns were built off of that railroad. So distance up matches this monument really well. So everybody has been using that monument forever. This equal split then, and then intersection. So, okay, so here's where it gets a little bit interesting with the city of Langby on the south side. this corner down here was established and certified by a land surveyor back when this highway was coming through and put into place. They had found a iron bar, is what he called on his certificate, on his government corner certificate, when they were putting that in. This corner has been used for, I have not been able to find a survey. Nobody's presented me with a survey for anything in section 8 to the 28 to the north. But for section 33, it's been used for literally every survey that's taken place in section 33 from multiple surveyors. Okay. So we were doing a survey in the town site of Langby up in this area for Laverne Lohman. And when I got to this corner, I found that if I use this corner for section 28, I would be sending this quarter line right through the city of Langby, which you can tell it's, I think, what does it say there? 65, 47 feet farther over, which would literally put every one of these pieces of properties in a very bad position. So I did not accept it. What I accepted for this corner location, I reset it, is the distances that they talked about and shown on the first edition of Langby. So I've retraced the city of first edition of Langby. The original town site of Langby does not call out this corner at all. They just call out this section corner and then show this line going off this way, but they don't have any distances going over to the quarter corner. So, but the first edition, when they did that, they had distances and they had measurements, and that is what I held to do that survey, which then by doing that, coming up to the north here, we matched fence lines really well. We matched occupation lines really well coming up. So that is how I established that line. If you take conventional survey methods, this corner, say that corner was lost, you would place it at an equal split between the southeast corner and southwest corner over there, which would actually even put it farther over this direction. Okay. So this has all been reviewed by the licensing board of the state. They accepted everything I did. I've ran this through Amanda and multiple surveyors to say, okay, is it okay to put a double corner here? If we don't put a double corner there, you're going to have 50 people in this room and not 3. That's why we do it. Is it the typical practice all the time? No, it's not. So you get back to this 16th line coming in at a split. And the 16th line does not follow the center of that highway. As you can see, this road's coming down, and it takes quite a bit of a curve at the end of that road. There's a road order that I know Daryl submitted to the state. That road order actually is coming down here, and it comes down to a point, and then it actually cuts over, if you read through it, and cuts through this area and cuts along this lake. So at some point in time, they were probably intending to build a road. And if you look at 1939 photos, it kind of looks like there is a trail, and then it goes to the section line and then comes down the section line and then connects up. I think it was supposed to connect, I think, to this area here. So that is how we've done the survey. So this one, so no, we have not been to this corner yet because this was all already established prior to this deal even starting. We are going to update this corner certificate in the end with more information regarding the township or regarding all the information that the town site has. With that information too, just because it wasn't on the corner cert. So we are going to add that so the corner cert just has more history to it. So, and I understand that it looks like the back sides of your property and where people have been measuring from is from the highway. But I'm also going to say, I don't know of any one of you guys that have ever got a survey done on your actual property. So,
Al, you said there was a survey done in the 80s.
For which,
I believe you said Daryl's property was surveyed in the 80s.
well, Arnold Scott purchased it. I guess I have a record on the deed, but I don't have a record that it was surveyed, but I'm assuming it was because they marked out, property lines there when my dad sold that property.
I thought you told the
one,
commissioners that it was surveyed in the 80s, which I have a hard time believing because in the 80s they would have established that section corner valley, and it was not established.
and we have found, I've dug through there and I have not found it from a survey information, or nobody's brought survey information to
What I
me.
referenced to the 80s was when that road, County 4 was redone.
Oh, I thought you said in 88 or something. That
I thought you said you had a survey too.
I thought you said you had a survey. That Daryl's property when it was split off from your parents, that it was.
Well, Arnold Scott is one who purchased it from my folks. And again, I don't have record of that, but I'm assuming it had to be surveyed to lot out there was an 8-acre lot and a 2-acre lot. Is what it was.
A lot of times landowners will write their own descriptions because the surveys would be so expensive. And maybe they inquired about a survey and they were given an estimate, and because all of this needed to be done, it would have been greatly expensive. So then they probably came up with stuff on their own.
One other thing too, I know there is a guy who was, I would say, posing as a surveyor from the McIntosh area who did so-called surveys on the area and charged people for them back in the day, and we found quite a few issues with his stuff too, but he was never a licensed surveyor. And his name's escaping my mind right now, but
Another question I've always had, is there any documentation that says County Road 4 goes down that 16th line? That the center line and County Road 4, the center line of County Road 4 and the 16th line are one and the same?
I have never found it.
I've never seen anything, and I just think what the county did is they connected the dots up at the intersection of the highway, and they connected the dots down to Main Street to Lingby, and they ran a straight line. And it was always been the assumption that the property line and the center line of the county road is one and the same, and it hasn't. And in my opinion, I don't think it is.
Daryl has a question.
When I visited with Murray Surveying about it, they're the ones who wrote the property descriptions for Donald Radke's and Tim Johnson's, and that's where their property descriptions come from. They have all information because they had that staked out at one time. And I actually found a pin in the ground where one of the rods where it is.
Which one's Radke's here? Up in here?
North.
Right in the middle.
I can't see the little.
I can't see the part.
His property would be right here.
Okay. I mean, I've reached out to Murray Surveying for information, and I haven't got no information from them. So
But somehow they wrote the property description somehow. And I did find a pin out there, or a rod on the ground.
I can reach out to Matt and Bob again, but
So we've got these differences in where you think the line should be, but that doesn't change the fact that most of us in the city are now find ourselves without.
The city is a whole nother dilemma.
Yeah, so it's, I mean,
Like this
what can we do?
program, the MinGeo program is not going to fix issues. It is going to give you a baseline to solve issues in the end, because then you're going to have section corners in place that are monumented, that are all recorded, that are going to give starting points to everything. Still, if there is an issue with an overlap or some type of thing, quick claim deeds between neighbors, things like that are going to have to take place to clean them up. It's not any different than if nothing was done and the problem keeps getting pushed down the road for another 30 years to your kids. At some point in time, there's going to be somebody from title or that is not going to give you title insurance on your property because you don't have a clear survey or clear title. This is going to allow you guys the ability to do that. Is there gonna not be problems when this is done? No, that's not the goal of this MinGeo project. We're not boundary surveying. We are remonumenting the section corners. So there is a base so the GIS systems can be laid out much more accurately. So Onyx Hunt will be laid out much more accurately because they grab all the GIS data. And so it's not going to solve a boundary issue problem.
So this remonumenting, when is this going to be finished?
March is our deadline.
Okay.
So, and
So
we'll
after
have it
that,
all
then
done.
us private landowners can pursue quick claim deeds with each other.
Yes. Yep. And then, so in March, we'll have a complete map of Langby that will be available at the county. It'll have all the coordinates for every corner. It'll have the distances between each corner. Did I say Langby? No, sorry. At the recorder's office here. But it's going to be for the whole Columbia Township. The state will submit all the coordinates to the state, and then there'll be a corner certificate document for every one of the section corners and quarter corners in the county. So right now we have about 50 of them that we have completed. A lot of the preliminary field work has been done. We had a few areas where we have some discrepancies and we're cleaning them up and working with the other surveyors and U.S. Fish and Wildlife and DNRs and all that. So the process, we wanted to start down in the southeast corner, that quadrant, and then the northeast, and then the southwest. But just once we got into it and found issues here right when we started, so then we ended up jumping around and stuff. So everything will be completed come March.
Okay, a couple questions. This is my neighbor, Jessica Owens. They just, just purchased what was the Les Emerson property. Scroll up a little bit. Oh, I didn't mean down, sorry. Up just a little. Their property would be this little place right here. Do I own her driveway or does she own her driveway? Because it shows that I owe that strip from her driveway up to Daryl's, and then Daryl owns a strip up to the access to that field. Do I own it? Does Daryl own it? Or do they own it? How do you resolve that?
Hire a surveyor and look into it. That doesn't sound promising right now.
It looks like the 16th line is probably going to be on the outside of the right of way. I'm going to be honest, I haven't did the whole right of way here. I mean, my job isn't
Road
to,
4 isn't part of the PLS project.
so I don't know. So like Amanda's saying, hire a surveyor to actually look into where that right of way is.
So
And
now
then-
we have to pay for a surveyor to move lines so they can own their driveway and that field approach. That's gonna be on us when we didn't move it. Are you accepting any markers at all?
What do you mean by it?
Have you come onto my property and found a marker on my property?
No,
Are you going
the section corner that I needed.
You're only gonna mark the section corner.
That's all this whole grant is for, is section corners. It's not property boundaries, it's not property lines.
So any of this, to fix any of this, that we're all here, I'm a simple guy, just need a simple common answer. Daryl and I have tried to resolve this by what the county suggested to do, to work it out civilly amongst ourselves. So he purchased what I call the clicker property. He cannot deed me any land to make this up because it is messed up. There's all kinds of parts to that. So how do we resolve this? How do I get him some land so he can own his? I will gladly give it to him, but we want to do it right and legally. How do I give him 70 more feet so he owns his well and septic, and he's going to give me, which this line that was the township road that goes past Mike McCall's that is messed up on his, was my mom and dad's driveway and the township driveway going down to the dump. If you look on GIS now, that has shifted to the west. I don't own that driveway anymore. He was going to give me that that's how we were going to trade. We can't even do that yet. And why do we have to pay for this? Why should the Roves that just moved, just purchased the place, why should they have to pay for something they had no knowledge of? And it shows that I own it or that Daryl owns their approach up there. Why do we have to pay for that?
Why did
Move
none of you ever pay for a survey 20 years ago? 30 years?
I'm sure it was surveyed sometime.
We just purchased the land in
Yeah.
February.
Again,
We didn't even get a chance. We didn't get a choice.
Yeah.
And now someone else owns part of our field that we can't even technically, if they were to say, no, we can't use it, we can't.
And
Legally.
you're saying you can't, that you don't own it, and all you're looking at is a GIS, which the GIS has a disclaimer that these lines are approximate. If you want to
Yeah,
know where
so
your lines are, hire a
anyway,
surveyor.
let's go back to that thing. Yes, so if you want to give Daryl land, like we talked about in the meeting that Joan was present at, Rich Sanders was there, all you have to do is have a deed written up for that piece of property that you want to deed over. You don't have to charge him if you feel that that was his land anyway, and get it done.
So we just put a stake wherever we
That's,
feel.
yes, like we told you, like he said, Rich Sanders told him to put a
How
stake
is
there.
that remotely even?
We would come out, we would go off the section corners, we would write a new deed, Amanda, Jerry Pribula, myself,
Any surveyor.
any
in the state-
surveyor can go off those monuments, write a legal description for that new piece of property, and you deed it over to each other.
So I go to Mike McCall's place, I can drive a stake and you can deed that over to me.
As long as Mike's on board with it. Otherwise, you guys can go to court if you guys are gonna argue about a property line.
But they're not arguing with each other, they're
No.
arguing with.
I
What's
know,
awesome is-
we get it. We've been doing this for
Yes.
5 years. Same
What's awesome,
conversation,
These two landowners are on the same
on the
page.
same page.
They agree. They both know where they expect the line to be. All they need to do is show a surveyor where that line is that they agree upon. A surveyor can write a new description and an attorney can put it on a quitclaim deed. and
What
it's
does something
done.
like that cost?
Well, now that these corners are done, you're probably gonna be around $1,000.
And how many years ago the county and Widseth offered to do it for free for the two of us?
So. 'cause
Oh,
like-
you're throwing this,
Way out of whack here.
you're way out of whack. Explain to me then how and I threw that in on my statement, how my brother-in-law, Eugene Klinke, had a new well and septic put in by the Minnesota Chippewa tribe, which I'm assuming would have done it correct. And that's where as well and septic is at now. How does that change just because you've drawn some different lines?
Like,
It was
that's-
done
okay.
legally then. How does that now, just because you have different lines?
Okay, so I take it they got a bill or a permit to put in the well.
Sure they did.
Okay, so
What year was it?
yeah, what they didn't probably require a survey at the time. Their rules have changed with planning and zoning. Now they're getting more strict and are required to actually have surveys back up their information.
So once we get these corners established, can we, as a city, hire you or somebody
Yeah.
as a group to just, these are our stakes and
Honestly, that's like a good idea
can we
because
just do that?
Great
any,
idea.
any survey, that first client pays the brunt of the cost. And I always describe it as it's a puzzle. Each section is a puzzle. And then each city plat is a puzzle. So those are two separate puzzles, by the way. But that first client of mine pays the brunt of the cost. And once I have your property figured out, now I know where your neighbors' properties are, and their surveys are technically cheaper, which kind of isn't fair to the first one, but that's the way the world goes. So
And
what if we got as a group?
if you got in as a group, that would be huge. It absorbs the cost amongst more than one person.
So
and I pretty much doing Mr. Lohman's property, doing the VFW downtown, surveyed of those. I have most, everything pretty well figured out and laid out, as you can see from this map.
Actually, the city of Lyngby fits pretty gosh darn good.
It does.
So the key to the city of Lyngby is Main Street and the railroad, right? And Main Street is very common in these old towns that the buildings on Main Street were built right on the property line. So that's our evidence that there are monuments to go with. And when you can figure out Main Street and now you start offsetting all these distances, the city of Lyngby is laid out really well.
The worst part of Lyngby, and unfortunately it's where you guys are at, is outside of that city limits, in the area where they're not actually using the city limit stuff. And that's up in here. It's not a platted area. It's meets and bounds area coming off of information so that's like the worst area of Lyngby. The city of Lyngby is actually, like Amanda said, is laid out compared to a lot of little towns that we run into. It's not.
So I shouldn't get too worked up by looking at the GIS.
No.
Especially if you're in the city of Lyngby, because those GIS lines, you're talking about a 50-foot lot, and those GIS lines move. It's hard to, in the city lots, you don't want to be relying on GIS.
Yeah. So you're not accepting any of the old survey from years ago? You're saying that's
wrong? No, we are accepting.
That's why I held that.
We are accepting old survey information if it is true survey information.
I think the hang up is
everybody's
talking about occupational lines, what you think you own. And if you go off a point that you think is the point, and then the next deed goes off that same point, but that point's wrong, they're all wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what Garrett's trying to say is you're going off occupational points. And those aren't legal. They're going off a legal point. They're trying to reestablish that point so a surveyor can give you a good surveyor. And that's why you're having troubles getting a surveyor. Is because they're saying we won't touch that area because we don't have a known reference point. We're not getting into this fight. And that's what they're telling you. But once these are remonumented and established, that survey cost is going to drop by a fifth or 10th because they don't have to go back to that known point. And that's what Garrett's explaining is that's what he's doing. That's what the geo process is. It's reestablishing the points of a section. It's not redetermining your boundaries, your property lot lines specifically, because that's not his task. It's to do the entire township and Columbia Township. So you've got a lot of points, a lot of surveyors he's got to go off. He can't go off of what you think or where the road's supposed to be.
But isn't that our legal description? Where does our legal description come from on our deed?
Who
should go
wrote
back to
your
a
legal
reference
description?
point.
Because-
Who-
that's-
what do they go off? If it's not accurate,
I think like yours, if I remember right from looking at your deed a long time ago, I think yours came off of the 16th line. I think it even calls out the 16th line, coming down the 16th line and coming over. And that is why the GIS has it drawn up the way they have it drawn up, because they used the 16th line, came down, came over, and came up. And that's why Daryl's same thing. I think they came down the 16th, came over, and came up. They did not come down the center of the road, come over, and come up. So that's where the fix can be.
is that speculation or is that true knowledge?
It's speculation,
I
because
read
nobody's
through
hired
it.
a surveyor. for this
Well, okay, so that point you got shown right there, if you go straight north of that,
Yes.
okay, that's going right, that is then directly in line. That was the township road that went down to that dump. Okay,
Right.
that's that line. The property
here.
next to me to the west is Deerdall. Okay, that is that line. If you're using that point and you're going straight up, how did my property shift then?
I think we need to explain how a section is quartered. So you have 4 corners of a section.
Is that other dot up there, is that verified?
That's mine, yes. That
This
dot
one,
right there
yes.
is mine.
You can take me right to that point?
Yep.
When do you wanna go?
I
wanna
did it
see
in 2014 and 2 feet of snow, and
Okay,
I mean,
I will,
I
I'll
knocked on
take
the door.
I'll take the skid steer down there and we'll clear it off. You show me where that is.
It's on the tree line, it's on the old dairy fence line. But anyways, I don't know if the commissioners, has anyone ever explained how a section is quartered or how we get these things? It comes down to, you have your 4 section corners, you have your 4 half miles. We figure the center of section by connecting the dots between the quarter corners, we quarter it. And then once we have the center of section, we quarter each of the quarters. And that's how we get the interior 16th line. And that's the 16th line, and the County Road 4, in my opinion, is the catalyst to the situation, because these descriptions are described off the 16th line, which I think people thought was the center of the road.
And I think they're coming from down here, right, Amanda? If you remember, that's what I think I was
You know
remembering.
what? I've never,
And I
the amount of
briefly
time I've
looked
spent on this job, and I'm not even involved.
If I go to this point right here, is that the description which Amanda just said she did it?
that's what we're saying.
Can we
don't.
go off of that to my property, or you're not sure
Well,
if that was
yeah.
used for my description on my deed?
I don't know if that's the corner that was used for your description on your deed. For us to fix, like, say you want a deed over Daryl, some new land, after this is done, we'll definitely be able to come off that line, come over, write a new legal description for you.
I would like to know
Without
if that,
relatedness any longer.
Yeah.
There was 4 questions you wanted answered. I think we could go about this all day for the next 20 hours. Okay? Let's answer your 4 questions, but it sounds to me, from listening to all this, that when he's done with his job, we can start to begin to fix the issues. Am I correct? That's where we should move from here.
How does Donald Rathke get an acre back then?
I don't know anything about how that works. All I'm saying is,
we just do the quick.
I think we gotta work on it. We all work on it together and give and take, and initially it's gonna cost a little money, and I'm not in favor of anybody spending money, but if that's what we gotta do to fix the problem, that might be, cause this is,
Eighth of my taxes off and not pay it because it's not 8 acres, it's only 7. So it's money, you're right, we don't wanna spend any money.
I agree, but I don't know how this works. I can't make the rules.
Is the county gonna pay for all these easements and stuff they gotta buy back then, or how is that gonna work?
Don't know anything about that, how that works.
I mean, right now, we're at a point where we don't know anything definite. I mean, the process is still working. So, I mean, unfortunately, we still have to wait.
I'm so happy we're all here talking about this and we're gonna get it done. We're gonna answer the 4 questions. And I don't know who's gonna answer those. Maybe Jake.
Well,
Maybe
what's your first one?
what these guys put.
Yeah.
I
Oh, I
wrote 'em.
thought you wrote it.
No, they wrote them. They listed them. I tried to write them as fast as I
Al
could.
had a couple questions. The question number one was, how can the property lines move if nothing else? I mean, if the land hasn't moved, how did these lines move? If you've got corner markers, section markers, which just established that's where they are, we are assuming, or we think they went off of County 4, but we don't know that because you have found the other 2 corners there. Why can't we measure off of that? If you found those and those are legit, let's not assume that they used County 4.
Okay.
Let's use those 2 corners that you
Okay,
found
so-
and establish.
Okay, so answer to that question, as I was gonna say, let this play out till March. In March, the GIS map will be updated. The section corners, well, maybe a little bit out.
Yeah, we'll get those, and once they're registered, then we'll take that and
Take
Steve
that
will
information.
redo the entire Columbia Township. We can start in this area, since
Yeah.
this is the really contentious, the line, and then we'll go from there. So,
Get them updated, then you guys can take a good look and see like, okay, I still have an issue or I don't have an issue because this is where my line is gonna be. Okay? So
But
then
our
at that
concern
point,
is that this all gets buried under the rug again when March comes along, because you have stated, and I'm not trying to be an evil person here, but you stated you're almost 90% done. But you have not
Wait.
been to any of our property to prove anything. You were assuming that County 4 is what they use to establish some of these markers, but yet you have 2 section ones that you're not sure if that's what my property is run off of.
Section corners are sure.
They're sure, so that's what my deed should say. So if I read my deed, somebody reads it and we
your
go from
deed
that.
comes off of wherever somebody wrote your deed to come off.
Okay, but then that's what I'm paying taxes on. So how do we change that, or how do you rectify that? That's what I'm paying, that's what all these guys are paying their taxes off of. Now Don Radke loses an acre, but he's still paying for that extra acre. How do you rectify that? How do I rectify giving Don, I'm gonna lose, if I want these people to have their driveway, I gotta give up some property, and I'm gonna have to give up some to Daryl. And he's gonna have to give some to me to get his property back.
Possibly.
Yes, and it's gonna cost us money. But yet we're gonna be paying, I'm gonna be paying for 50 acres when I'm not gonna own 50 acres, cause I'm gonna be giving them some and Daryl some.
And here's what goes on with the county. So if a survey is done on your property, proving that you have more acreage than you're being, because it happens, if a section breakdown's done, sometimes people end up with more acreage
A lot of
or
people
less.
refer to that they own a 40, but a lot of
No,
times.
nobody, but just, yeah,
Forget that stuff.
but just, if you have a property and it ends up saying 5 acres and it ends up being 4.9. Once you have that survey done, you submit it to the county will then update what you're being taxed on. But until they have proof of what you own, they're paying taxes based off the tax roll that's been there for ever.
Right.
But they,
through the quick claim deed process, you would correct that out.
yeah,
And I believe, like Garrett's assuming, is that yours is coming off the 16th line. And
again, assume is the word.
Yes.
but I'm not
But we
surveying
didn't
your property.
dive into just
That's
your
just-
specific legal description, and that wasn't Garrett's task.
So you're just doing
His was to do the monument.
It may not his task, but it's encompassing all these in question.
Yep, and I understand that, but now we're gonna have some answers come March, like Garrett said, once they're certified, recertified, I should say, then we know what point we're working off to give you a clean legal. This doesn't just happen in Lingby. North of Maple Lake's a mess like this too. Their cemetery's off. We've been down that road just a couple months ago. They're using points that weren't accurate. And that's fine, there's a correction process. The good news is you guys get along. You guys
Yeah,
aren't
that's-
having
that's
disputes
huge.
on this. That's an easy process. When you're having disputes on things is when things get messy. Because you're going to court then. I've seen the 50-foot lines that they both think they own 50 feet. They get tied up in court for 3 years. I've been to those deposition hearings. They get tied up for 3 years because they can't agree on it. If you agree on it, it's swift. It will be easy.
How do we rectify then the church cemetery property? Is that a description issue? Is that what's wrong with that?
We haven't.
You've marked that corner.
Yes, that corner has been marked, certified, and now we re-examined it and
So
found it and
are we the Lyle Ball in our church gonna have someone re-describe it? Because it is, the graves are here, it shows Lyle Ball owns the property, but it shows that we own 100 yards to the west. How do we rectify that? I'm looking for an answer. Is that a legal description? Is it a surveyor that has to relook at it? That I have a letter here.
Anytime you get, I'm just gonna put this out there as anytime you get a legal description written, unless if it says the northeast quarter of section blah blah blah, get a survey done. I mean, that's why there's issues after issues after issues. You got 6 properties here and not one has a survey done.
And once you get them surveyed, what are the odds that they're actually surveyed together, that they don't have gaps and overlaps amongst each other? That's a whole nother issue.
That's a whole
the
nother
common issue.
I mean, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 houses right there, not one survey. Not one true survey.
They were on that highway?
What?
There's never been a survey done on that highway and they built it?
That I haven't even looked into. I don't know.
And I was told there's a property description on that road. That's what everybody wrote them off. That property descriptions came off the center line of that road. It's the property description has, because the county owns that road and there's a property description on it. That's what everybody set that off of. And now you can just come in and move that because now your property descriptions on the road ain't gonna match.
Your property lines come off the 6
I'm not talking about mine, I'm talking about the counties.
That's a good question for the county, because that's been my question all along, is that road. And like I said, my opinion is they connected the dots at the intersection of the highway and they connected to Main Street. And if there is a description, that would be awesome to see. I have a hard time believing that it wasn't, because that west quarter was never reestablished. If they would have described that line or that road based off of the 16th line, like referred to the 16th line at all, they would have had to know where that corner is. So I'd like to know if is there a description of the center of that road.
Murray survey told me there was. That's what everything's written off.
I could see him saying the descriptions are based off the center line of the road, but if there's a description for the center of the road is my question.
Chuck?
Well, I didn't think this would get resolved in half an hour, and we've been at it for 70 minutes. Unfortunately, this is the last board meeting of the year. I got 2 pages of agenda items to get through. Obviously, you need to finish the remonumentation, and that will trigger the next set of things that can be done. Do you end up talking about this at Langby City Council meetings at all? Would that be a forum to revisit this, where you might have more time, or we would have more time?
Well, probably not, because
it takes a while.
We're city limits.
Right.
Right. We do have, I think Mike is in city limits, but you are too. Do you? Okay.
I do think that there's a bit of a linear process here, that once that gets done, Mr. Olson's concerns, everybody else's concerns, these things can start falling in place. Having not been intimately involved in it, I just know that it's been an issue and heard about it for a number of years. This sets the accuracy and to go from. What you decide with your neighbors will be what can get decided for individual properties, quitclaim deeds. We might be able to, you thought maybe we could waive fees?
Work with some recording fees, which is normally $46 per document.
we worked with everybody on that.
It's not much, but recognizing the nuisance this is creating for everybody. We still have, I think, some taxes we have to collect for because we can't get rid of those, but at least get to that point over the summer. Easier to walk the ground if you need to. It's easier to talk to your neighbor, figure out where a real surveyor might go out and working off those monuments, give you an actual description that might change how much land you have and what you're taxed on. Because I don't think anybody here would rather not have it be accurate than what it is right now. Especially if
We
you're trying to get-
appreciate the time and of listening to this. And the only reason was for this was we heard that it was 90% done. And we're asking that it doesn't get swept under the rug.
It's not
All
gonna
we're,
get swept
all
under
we're
the rug.
asking is that we can somehow come to a resolution. We're not crazy people here. We all have issues that are here, plus some more. We just would like a resolution of how to fix this. Because there are some other people, myself included, I'm at the age, I may want to deed my property to my grandchildren. Well, if it's messed up with Daryl's, I can't even do that. So there's another lady, Diane Gunderson, her husband passed away, she wants to do the same. Hers is messed up. She can't do this. It creates a real mess, and I hope you can appreciate that. We just would like a resolution, and that's all we're asking.
Next step, complete the monumentation, which we got state money for that.
Yep.
I believe. So it's not going away.
That's fair enough.
That'll certainly help the surveyors going forward.
No, I just make sure that we understood the task at hand. And I think we're all on the same page. We need to get this fixed, but it looks like it's gonna take us into the summer to get it fixed, once he's done with his monuments.
Yeah,
And,
just see.
Al and Daryl, we'll have our GIS department look into your legals specifically. Make sure, because this is coming down the pipeline. Steve's already aware of it. Steve Moe is our GIS coordinator. He's fairly new. He did not draw that line. It was the former coordinator that drew that 16th in there. I will have him get versed on your legal descriptions. He's very good at what he does. We'll get those legals. If you guys need to stop in and get your legals, stop in our office.
Okay, we appreciate that.
Yeah, and that's, like, we'll just continue, and once, that Garrett is done with, his process, then, see what we have. And then we'll just, go from there and see what, our next steps are.
Remember, his job was, and I'm just learning this as well, his job was to find the monuments, period. And I think as long as we all understand that, then we can go to fix the other problems. Am I right?
Yeah,
Is
because
that
then
my right direction?
we have our starting points, because we need to have those monuments to actually be able to start to figure out where lines are. So, and we'll get through this.
We appreciate your time.
Yep.
Thank you.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Almost 2 days.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Okay, we'll take a little break here.
1 minute. I have to go.
Yeah,
told I
still
got
morning.
short time. So, first action item I have is a planning commission appointee, Leonard Vanasek, to represent Commissioner Strandell out of District 2. Just looking for a motion to reappoint Len. He's been on our board, does a great job for our board.
I move.
Second,
Warren and Gary.
he does do a good job.
Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, next action item I have is a new lease for the Environmental Services Department. We're requesting a 2026 Dodge Ram. We're looking at selling our 2020 Dodge Ram 1500 to the landfill to replace an unreliable old vehicle. We're unsure about that old vehicle if we're going to do trade-in, but the estimated Kelly Blue Book we got from Enterprise was $800. I think we can get more at auction or do something. We'll probably just end up holding on to that vehicle. This is in our environmental services budget to pick up a new pickup. Again, it's a lease to own through our Enterprise fleet management. Looking for a motion.
I so moved.
Second.
Paul and Warren. Any discussion? Was the old one, that was one that we just had bought?
The 2020 is actually past its lease. We own that vehicle.
Oh, okay.
So we're asking that the landfill just pick up the Kelly Blue Book value for that. We do have a trade-in value for that. They'll
Okay.
purchase that through the Crookston transfer station,
Mhm.
and then we'll transfer that out. It's a more reliable vehicle for them. And then there is like a $400 payoff charge. We will have them pay that fee to transfer the title over is basically what it is to the county so that we outright own it.
Mhm.
But then we would just keep that other older vehicle probably in a shop out there until the next auction. We'd auction off that. It's only an 04 Chevy Silverado, less than 200,000. We're gonna get more than $800 for it.
Oh, yeah.
The Enterprise, they just lowball you. So we're in no interest. $800 is $800. That we can get 2,500 probably for it. So
Okay. Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
okay, next one is a preliminary plat. I put the plat out in front of you. This is really a replat. It is 2 lots in the former Ridgewood Estates second edition. We did that in probably about 3 years ago, that particular plat. I'm going to go right to the plat map because this is really the point of it here is to adjust this lot line. This property, there's no, it's all been surveyed. The markers are all there. It was a former plat. This was Ridgewood Estates first edition. Really the first edition out southeast of Fertile here, east of the fairgrounds. Really, this is just to adjust to basically do an equal swap of triangles in here. Since it was part of a plat and they're legally described as this lot of that plat, we're doing a replat on this. So it would replat these 2 parcels to adjust this lot line. Wolfie Clark is the applicant. He owns this homestead right here. And it really squares up more so with the road right-of-ways and squares his property up. It also does provide a little frontage on this cul-de-sac for the Ray and Sylvia Nelson property. We issued a permit in 2014 for a home septic. And so there's a home septic on this parcel currently. They've moved into that property. And then there's just a small shed on the Clark property here. So still have access. They actually provided access off this township road here, 102nd Avenue. Really nothing's changing other than an equal swap of triangles. So,
And they're just doing a quick claim.
no, this was through the platting process because of how it's legally described. So we did have that conversation, but it gets a little messy when you start doing lot 1 with this meets and bound description.
Sure.
Because of that old plat, this will actually replace the legal as this is lot this of this plat, not the former plat.
Sure.
A little bit cleaner on the recording side of things. One note, they don't wish to have any covenant restrictions on the parcels. Both parcels are for residential purposes only. And our planning commission recommended, and staff recommends approval. They waived their right to look at it again. The planning commission felt they don't need to look at it again. This does have to come before the board, so it is just preliminary approval, but I plan on just bringing this forward the first meeting of January because nothing is going to change on it.
Right.
No covenants are getting added. So looking for a motion to preliminarily approve Clark Nelson edition.
Okay, Paul,
Second.
seconded by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, my next action item is a proposal for conditional use. Applicant is Eric and Nikki Road. They're looking at doing a conditional use permit for a property here north of Mentor. They're looking at building a 60 by 156 self-storage units within the building. There would be 26 self-storage units located in Section 22 Grove Park, Tilden Township. Parcel's 131 acres in size. I do want to go over some maps here. These are ordinance requirements. You need an operational plan, you need certificate of insurance, setbacks on property lot lines 100 feet, screening established by 12.41, which is basically to the satisfaction of the planning and zoning administrator, or put up a fence. I'd rather have just natural vegetation be the screening. We did receive an operational plan. This is the side notes. This site, everything shaded here is wetland areas. Very extensive wetlands. There's actually the water body that flows out of Maple Lake comes across this property in a ditch. So all the water that flows out of Maple Lake flows to the north. It does eventually hit the Red Lake River through that via meandering ditch there. So this site is pretty wet. It's willows. It appears hunting land is what it has been for its existence. Maybe some hay ground on the west side. This would be that building, 56 by 60 by 156. All those units, there'd be 13 on each side. This is actually facing, this would be facing north and south, not how I have it east and west. And it would be located in this, there's an opening, go to some pictures here. So this is the National Wetland Inventory map. There's an opening right here, which they're saying is upland. Our East Polk Soil and Water District, Rachel with East Polk, wants a full delineation of that area. I understand why she does. With a building of that size, having self-storage, they're targeting tractor storage, equipment storage, and boat storage. To get a trailer backed in there, they're going to have quite the gravel pad. This is the area that preliminarily was tested by Houston Engineering. They did a couple soil borings, found some upland areas in this opening. The rest were pretty much wetland areas around it. Only did 7 soil borings. That's not a delineation. Rachel is recommending a full delineation. I do support that recommendation. And so this is kind of the area. Well, this isn't kind of the area. This is the area. This is that opening. Very much brushed with willows. There are a couple of larger trees along the ditch here, but really it's willow, little open meadow there that they're saying is upland. Again, looking at the site, I think the building should fit in there fine, but there's going to be a heck of a lot of gravel fill. There's going to be an access in. They want to access off the township road, create a new one instead of field accesses on both the west and east side. So with that, came to a couple of different conditions that we added. Planning Commission and staff recommended approval. They recommended approval with several conditions. First condition of that would be that the new building must be set back 100 feet from all property lot lines. Second would be access would be approved by the appropriate road authority. That would be the township, Grove Park, Tilden Township. Building driveway and gravel fill must not be placed in any wetland. If located in the northeast corner of the parcel as proposed, a wetland delineation is required before the building permit is issued. So we're requesting the applicant work with Houston Engineering, get a wetland delineation, submit that to East Polk for verification, and then we'll know it's upland. They need a certificate of insurance or performance surety that's required by the ordinance, an operational plan, which they have submitted. All activities conducted under that. One double-faced sign, just mirrors language of our ordinance for conditional use, not to exceed 32 square feet in area, 10 feet in height. Conditional use will become void 1 year after it was granted unless used. They really want to construct this building as quick as possible. We just advise them work with Houston Engineering, get your delineation, and then we'll issue the permit. Conditional use shall be subject to annual administrative review to verify all conditions, and screening is maintained with existing trees and brush. Planning Commission felt it is very brushy area. I don't think you'll see that building until you get right up on the township road and the access looking into it. It's very much willow all the way, and then farm fields and ag fields all the way around it. So I'll waive from reading the 6 standard conditions unless somebody from the board would wish me to do so. Looking for a motion for approval.
I so move.
Paul
Second.
and Warren. Any discussion? I know we did talk or question about if it didn't work for that location, then of moving it over to where they do have some buildings.
And that would be appropriate. We would just make the adjustments because it is on the parcel of 131 acres. I stated as the condition that is in the northeast, then a wetland delineation is required because there is a building site on the southwest corner where we've issued permits where we don't believe is wetland at all. It's their desire not to have it by their hunting cabin, keep that a little bit more private, and then have this be as far away from that as possible. Because I guess to me, I think what they're feeling on that is to keep it hunting because they're not going to see a lot of in and out after lake season's over. I really think it's for boat storage. That's what their op plan is targeting. Once the boats are in, I don't think people are going to be coming in and out like right. Typical unit in town. So that they'll still be able to use it as hunting because guess what? Nobody's going to be there. You can't shoot that way anymore because there's a building.
Right.
So.
Yep. Any other discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
I forget what my next action item is.
Number
AIS.
2025-77.
AIS.
Aquatic invasive species.
Well, I know everybody read the aquatic invasive species plan prior to the meeting, so I'm going to go with some real brief overview. So we get money every year to run the AIS program. One of those biggest things of our AIS program is our watercrafting inspections. It's been our goal to keep our watercraft inspectors being our education to our lake users. Clean during dry. That's the motto. If your boat's clean and you're not bringing water from lake to lake, you should be good. You should not be transporting AIS species. A lot of people need reminders about taking weeds off your boat. All those weeds that are in Union, there's 2 aquatic invasive in there. Just takes one to come over and get foothold in Maple, Sarah. We've had that survey where there's a little blip of curly leaf pondweed in Sarah now. So the point is try to educate boat or lake users that, hey, these things are moving and it's not birds that are doing it, it's people. Had a lot of close calls over the years. We've had a program since 2014, but a big is that watercraft inspection program. Good news, we are going to have a watercraft inspection program in 2026 because the state did not cut our funding in half. If they did, we really would be limping to have any kind of watercraft inspection program. That is a major expense in our budget from year to year. One of the things that we are trying to troubleshoot with our watershed district is with our Sandhill watershed district is that pump on Union Lake. That's a major issue. I know April's been working hard talking to legislators. It's going to take a lot of money to get a project up and running to have that. We need that because it is a closed basin lake. Union Lake does not get water out of it. The only way is via that pump. It is connected to Sarah, so they kind of can equalize. They got a little freeboard there. Sarah's been so low for so long. But with that, that's going to suck the potential that other things are going to come from Union to Sarah. So that's kind of an open ditch system. There's no freeboard there for AIS moving other than 99% of the time Sarah flows into Union Lake. I had some red text in here. Okay, our sign project that we started in 2024, really spring of last year, we kind of got a hang up with our parks and trails permitting. Want us to do all these things to place a sign, and still continuing to work with Alan there. with DNR public parks and trails. We need a permit to place it on any DNR access site, and I don't know why it's been so hard. I'm thinking we'll just put the sign and not have tools. We'll do that as an add-on in a different permit or something. I don't know why the tools would be such an issue. But want to get signs on there, just reminders. These are more of our sites that aren't, they're more remote sites. I want to get them up on the river access sites. I want to get them up where it's just a reminder, right? Clean, drain, dry. We can't have inspectors everywhere. We only got 2, 3 if we're lucky.
Yeah.
So continue with that. I've got a date where we want to get it done next year. And then that was talking about the pump and really just trying to assist our soil and water or not soil and water, but Sandhill Watershed District, April over there. She's got a big task trying to solve a big problem. It's kind of dumped on her plate because they control the pump. So we got a good plan. We got members are still coming to meetings. Did get a new Minnesota DNR member. It's a good thing, a little change of pace. Gina, who came to our meeting this summer. It was good to meet her and hope she can get some of those permits we need pushed through. So I won't go over the budget. You already approved that via the budget cycle. So I am looking for 2 actions on this, though. I do have a resolution to close out the 2025 our plan. So every year I need to submit a resolution to the state. This is in our delegation agreement. We carry a delegation agreement with the Minnesota DNR. We will run the program and we will spend the money to do so. So this is that resolution. And that resolution is the final 2025 Aquatic Invasive Species Prevention Plan.
Okay, so need a motion for the 2025 program.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
seconded by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, then we need approval for the 2026 draft.
It's very much a living document. It can change on a dime. So
Second.
Paul and Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
okay, my last action item. I need lots of signatures, so it's the hauler's license. I will do a caveat in here. I do have a contract to carry forward. Lennis's hauling contract. Or I got haulers licenses and the hauling contract for the transfer station and incinerator, landfill, etc. So I'll need some signatures after this action item. Every year we're licensing about 20 or more haulers. That's anybody bringing stuff to our transfer station, our incinerator. I need a hauler's license. So I got those applications. I've been getting them for the last 3 weeks. Right now I have 22 haulers. Expecting a couple more. Anything past this deadline, we do kind of put a little penalty fee, late fee. We want to get these processed. We want to make sure we get everything we need. We're still working through. So that's why some of these are kind of going to be conditional approval because we don't have some of the things we need. Some of those things would be just a copy of a bond or something or insurance and something along the lines of that they need a DOT on this truck. We keep those all on file at the transfer station in Crookston here. So I'm looking for basically the signatures on those for approval of our Polk County haulers. And then a third caveat that was given to me this morning would be to carry forward our hauling contract that's been in place since 2023 with Lennis to provide hauling services for the Crookston transfer station, the Polk County landfill, and the Polk County incinerator.
Are they 2 separate motions?
3 separate, actually. The third action item would be that extension for a 1-year extension on that hauling contract. Which John talked about. Remember, we were doing a haulers study with Stantec to see if we're going to start doing other items such as hauling.
What percent did they go up?
Nothing. It's staying the same.
Okay,
So,
I can go with that.
Nothing changing with the contract or the numbers. Just
Okay.
need a 1 year.
Item number 1.
Okay.
Almost.
Okay, so
Second.
Paul and Gary on the first one with the
Correct.
completed applications. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. Now on to the conditional ones.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
Warren. Thought I was gonna have to kick you there. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried. And then we need a motion on the contract with Lennis.
Just a 1-year extension on that.
1-year extension.
Same contract.
I'll move.
Second.
Warren and Gary, or no, Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried.
That's all I have.
Okay,
Can I secure some signatures?
right now?
Yeah, I prefer if that works.
Okay, well,
You just do them as we do other
I know.
things.
Can
I'll
leave them. I
I'll
can
let
leave them if you just want to keep rolling. Okay, is that okay if I leave this?
Okay,
Let me take out my board item stuff.
okay, well, we're,
Then
getting
I'm
closer.
done. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yep, same to you.
This was
Happy New Year.
that too.
Okay, Victoria, we're only 13 minutes behind now.
All right, well, hello again. And I'm almost done with contracts, so I'll go through a few today, and then I have one more next board meeting.
Okay,
My first agenda item that I have here is a request for a social worker replacement. Replacement of a social worker in the adult services unit under the supervision of Molly Pausrud. Board approval, the action request is board approval to fill the social worker position and to fill any internal subsequent position vacancies occurring because of this action.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
Warren, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried.
My next agenda item is the Wellness in the Woods Virtual Peer Support Network contract approval. Wellness in the Woods provides virtual peer support network services to regional counties to include Polk, Kitson, Mahnomen, Marshall, Norman, Pennington, Red Lake, and Roseau counties. Peer support targets individuals in the need of mental health services and supports. Funding will be provided through the Northwest 8 Mental Health Initiative funds. The action requested is board approval of the 2026 contract in the amount of $6,000 to the Wellness in the Woods Virtual Peer Support Network.
I'll move.
Paul,
Second.
Gary, any discussion?
It's your turn.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried.
The next agenda item I have is the 2026-2027 Child Support Program Cooperative Agreement. This agreement covers the administration of child support, establishment of paternity, and medical support liability programs between the Minnesota Department of Child, Youth, and Families and Polk County. The cooperative agreement is entered into between the state and the governing board of Polk County and its designated child support office. This cooperative agreement sets forth the respective responsibilities of providing services necessary to operate the child support enforcement program under Title 4D of the Social Security Act. The cooperative agreement further defines the responsibility of the county attorney's office and the sheriff's office in administering the child support program in Polk County. 2026 and 2027's budget is for $27,585. These costs are reimbursed at 66.6% of the federal financial participation. And then Gary, you had a question about the total cost.
Yeah, for 25.
For 25, the total cost was $11,084. In this contract, each sheriff's department, whoever's doing the serving of the child support order, each sheriff's department sets their own billing structure. So it's often between $50 to $55 plus the mileage rate. So in 2024, the average cost was about $35, and now the rate has increased to about $50 to $55 plus mileage. The county attorney's office bills are $120 an hour, and this rate has not changed in several years. The action requested is board approval of the 2026-2027 Child Support Program Cooperative Agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Gary and Warren, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the next agenda item I have is the Personal Money Management 2026 contract. The Personal Money Management contract is to provide money management assistance to eligible individuals to help stabilize economic functioning by providing financial counseling. The amount of the maximum rate is $57 per month per client. The total amount to be paid for purchase services is not to exceed $15,000 in 2026. Social Security Administration representative payee fees change from $55 in 2025 to $57 in 2026. The total cost for these services in 2025 was $9,354. The action requested is board approval of the 2026 contract with Personal Money Management for $15,000.
So move.
Second.
Warren and Paul, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, my last agenda item here is the contract with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, the transportation contract, and we did review this at the Social Service Board meeting and where we had Cindy Peach come and talk about the transportation services they provide. This contract serves for eligible individuals, non-emergency medical transportation. This agreement runs from January 1st through June 30th, 2026. This contract also serves as a host county agreement, allowing other counties and tribal agencies to place eligible clients with this provider for services. Action requested, we recommend the approval of the transportation contract with Tri-Valley Opportunity Council, establishing a spending limit of $10,000 for the period of January 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2026.
Okay.
Are we tabling this till January?
Either,
I'd like to table it until we get these.
Second that, I believe that would be most appropriate.
okay. Okay, so we will table this item until our January 6th of 2026 meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I take a vote.
We need to vote
Yeah, we need to vote.
on the tabling.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
You know, like, oh, they can
Yeah,
just
it's
bring
just-
they can just bring this back. It's not necessarily,
Oh, it's not necessarily a votable.
it's not necessarily tabled because it's just an item you're gonna bring back instead of a motion on the floor that you would table to act on later.
You'd move to approve, then you would move to table.
Or you move to decline and then you move.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can just
Right.
delay it until. one of the January meetings.
Whatever, I'll move to decline.
I'd almost recommend the second meeting, because that's a social services board meeting, we can discuss it.
January 20th.
So after,
Okay, so he's made the
20th.
motion now to decline.
yep,
We're
Or,
gonna table it.
if we're gonna table it,
What is-
we gotta decline it the way it is.
Well, she can just bring it back. You can do no action on it today and she can just bring it back on the
Oh.
20th.
okay,
Well, let's do that.
so no action then.
Right, because there was no
Yep.
motion made to act upon
Right.
this, so.
Okay,
Okay.
I think Robert's rule says if he was to motion to approve and him to second, Warren would move to table, which would stop the discussion and it would table to a later date.
But there was no
But
motion,
since there was no motion to accept, you can just.
no action taken.
Right, okay.
if we each know.
Yeah, make sure
Okay,
that notes.
thank you. I'll bring this.
Represent that, please.
You got it.
That's
I
this
got it,
big
thank
book
you.
here we
Yep.
could look at.
yeah, and just, just a reminder, like for those that are watching online, that we did have our social service board meeting before our regular commissioner meeting this morning, and we did go over all these contracts, so that's why we're able to go through them very quickly. So we do go through them.
Here you go.
Oh,
Good morning.
good morning, Levi.
All right, I got 3 items here today, and each of them are contingent upon the approval of the 2026 budget. It's just something to be aware of. Item number 1 here is to replace the existing server and storage equipment at the LEC. Our current equipment there, we're going to be going on 7 years now, coming January, so it's getting a little bit up there in age. And this is going to be kind of the core hardware and storage that runs all of our server infrastructure. So we're looking at 3 production server nodes plus a storage array. And with this, there's also 2 disaster recovery nodes. In the event that something were to happen, it would help us recover a bit faster. So we do have that ability for a little bit faster recovery in the event of some sort of incident. There are 3 attached quotes for this. Any questions on this? It's kind of a larger item.
But you had planned for this. This is a budget item.
Correct. It's planned for in 2026, and assuming everything gets approved on that budget, it's all planned for, and it's actually a little under that budget amount. So,
Yep. So moved.
Second.
So,
Okay, Gary and Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
item number 2, we're just looking at renewing our RSA multi-factor license. This is used for multi-factor in the county, both desktop VPN and some of our cloud infrastructure. That's that annoying bit you get when you sign in and you put your username, password, and then you have a code of one form or another. Gets used, or it's required by both Tri-County and the Sheriff's Office, just to be kind of in compliance with some of the standards. Action requested today, just a motion and action approving the quote of $26,070 to renew the RSA licensing for 2026.
So moved.
So second.
Warren and Paul, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right. And then the final item here today, we're requesting to renew the Morris Electronics Network support contract for 2026. They help provide support with critical county infrastructure that includes but not limited to network planning and issues, server planning and issues. This includes 17 on-site visits throughout the year. There's also some help with escalation with the state, and then we do get some after-hours emergency support with this. We've been working with them, gosh, as far as I know. We've really cut back on this, but it's nice having that extra set of eyes if it's 9-10 in the evening and things aren't going quite right. So,
They come once a month? They come more than once a month?
It's one to 2 times a month. Typically it's 1, but there's a couple months where we get an extra visit. So
cool.
Still get Mr. Larson flying in?
Yep, it's still Mr. Larson. Once in a while, he has one of his employees come with just to kind of cross train and learn what we have going on. But yep, it's still Sean. So
Okay, I move.
Warren,
Second.
Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good Christmas.
Yes,
Yeah,
Merry
same to
Christmas to you.
Happy holidays. Oh, Mr. Sanders.
11 items.
Oh,
Busy month.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
yeah.
We actually got construction projects final in the fall instead of next spring. For you. Lee. For you. Oh.
I know I will. I know it. Yeah, we'll have to put in that like region so you can. Yeah. That's what I think. We got here. We're gonna.
Okay.
Are we ready?
Yes.
Yes, we are ready.
Yeah, we are ready.
Yep.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sanders.
2 minutes left
2
of
minutes,
the
okay.
morning.
First, we have the contract that included the overlay on CASA 6, CASA 49. RJ Zavril and Sons Incorporated completed all the work required under the contract. Original contract amount $1,985,550. Final contract 2.201,814.15 due to the incentives for ride and density. Need a motion for myself to sign the certificate of performance and myself and the administrator to sign the final voucher.
So move.
Okay, Warren,
Second.
seconded by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next is the contract for Foston's Fit Trail. Since we are the
Fiscal.
financier or the support for Foston when it comes to contracts, the county has to approve the final or the original contract and the final. Gordon Construction of Monoman Incorporated has completed all the work. Original contract amount was $246,352.71. Final contract amount is $264,360.86. We don't have a certificate of performance because their engineer does that, but I need approval for myself and the administrator to sign the final voucher.
So moved.
Second.
Paul and Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next, the certificate of performance final acceptance for CP 125-48-1440. Our base stabilization projects on CASA 48, CASA 51. Let's do it that way. WMD Sapaniak Incorporated out of Holdingford, Minnesota, completed all the work required under the contract. Original was $937,860. Final is $939,822.24. A little extra gravel is all that was. I need a motion to allow myself to sign the certificate of performance and myself and the administrator to sign the final voucher.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
Warren. Any discussion?
How did we miss one?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
This was confusing to me, but
Next we have.
Well, let's see. We haven't done that one yet.
Oh. Whoops. Oh.
Let's see here.
Oh,
Which one is
shoot.
this?
Yeah.
We've done that one.
Did.
We haven't done 46.
46 is the one I have.
Okay, so actually, you did the Fit Trail as number 2, and that's actually number 5. Correct?
Well, how did I get past number 2 and 3 or 3 and 4?
Because 2 is Marshall County.
Yeah, that's 66 and 21 and 13, which I didn't see. Let's see here. Let's go back just to make sure. Make everybody online go bug you scrolling through this.
6. Oh, that was.
So we did this one. 6 and 49.
Yep.
There's your certificate of performance. There's the final voucher signature.
Yep, that's that one.
That's still that one. Still that one. Still that one. Then we got the fit trail.
That was actually number 5.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Something didn't get scanned in.
Okay, let's see.
And we just did this one.
Well, let's see, was that the correct one?
Sapaniac, yeah.
60.
Okay.
That was for 46.
No, that was for 50, 48 and 51.
Well,
For copies.
that's number 6,
That's number 6, yeah.
but it's number 3 on our agenda.
No. It's number 3 in the packet. but it's 6 on the agenda.
Yeah, that's what I said.
We picked number 3 on the agenda.
You said it was 3 on the agenda, and it's 6 on the agenda.
Was the third item dealt with.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
Are we missing those ones? Rich?
Let's see if they're not down here. There's the diesel quote. There's tandem. Land rent. Yeah, so they are not in the packets, but they were on my list of agenda items.
Well, it's the. You also have the railroad bridge.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
in here somewhere. I see
No,
that.
it wasn't in here at all.
No.
So I'm missing 46's.
46, 21, and then the railroad bridge.
Agenda items 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. If I wouldn't have.
We'll have somebody, I know you're off to Boston or something.
No, I'm done with that. So this one's been approved. That one's been approved. That one's been approved. I'm gonna need my glasses. So what was number 2 on the agenda?
Number 2 is 13 and 21.
And
Okay.
66.
We can get you copies as soon as I'm done with this. So that's this one here. So CASA 13, 21, and 66 in Polk, and Marshall's CASA 21 was one contract. R.J. Zaverl and Sons Incorporated completed the work as required under the contract. Original contract amount was $3,841,550 and 50 cents. Final contract amount is $3,941,565.22. Again, due to incentives on all the contract items, so I need approval for myself to sign the certificate of performance and myself and the administrator to sign the voucher.
Okay, so need a motion for this one.
That's number 2, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm a
Paul,
And second,
seconded by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
aye.
So we made
Opposed?
these ones.
Carried.
Yep. You missed 2, 3.
Okay, and then now.
So number 3 is
It's
CASA 46.
Yep.
So R.J. Zaverl and Sons Incorporated finished all the work under the contract as required. Original contract amount was $2,020,319. Final contract amount is $2,003,631.36, or an underrun. So we used a little bit less gravel. They ended up with a deduct on their tack that they supplied, but they did get incentives for ride and density. So I need approval for myself to sign the certificate of performance, and myself and the administrator to sign the final voucher.
Could you say that number again?
I can try. So original contract amount, $2,020,319. Final contract amount, $2,003,631.36.
Okay,
So
thank you.
about 17,000 under estimate.
Okay. Okay,
So move.
Warren
Second.
and Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next, you have,
It's the Columbia Township
yep.
Bridge.
So we have the bridge over the railroad at Columbia Township, SAP 6599-281. Original contract amount $2,235,342.50. Final contract amount $2,248,272.99, or about a $13,000 overrun. So I need approval for myself to sign the certificate of performance and myself and the administrator to sign the final voucher.
Who did that work?
Redstone Construction out of Redstone Construction out of Moore, Minnesota, completed the work as required under the
Okay.
contract. Sorry.
Okay, need a motion.
I will move.
Okay, Paul,
Second.
seconded by Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay. Next is the weather. So every year, Polk County does a contract with DTN for our weather service, and it's for this year. It's for 21 counties, including Polk, so 20 others. Total cost for 2026 is $77,792.40, or $3,704.40. So I need approval for paying the DTN services and allow myself to sign the contract and pay the amount.
Number 7 on the list.
Yep.
Must be number 7.
Yep.
I move.
Okay, Warren,
Second.
seconded by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay. Moving along. Diesel fuel quotes. So you received a copy of the abstract. You can see we had 5 bids. 3 from Kirkson Fuel, 1 from CH Ag Service, and 1 from Fertile Oil Company. Lowest responsible quote is the Fertile Oil Company. If you look at the far right, at $135,600 for supplying fuel over the year. You can see how each quarter is broken out. $2.19 a gallon for the first three months, $2.25 a gallon for the next 3 months, $2.25 for the third quarter, and $2.35 for the fourth. It's about $900 less than the 2025 fuel quote. So I need approval to award the diesel fuel quote to Fertile Oil.
So moved. Second. Second.
Paul and Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Next, we had 2 tandem trucks in our budget. And so you have the quotes for the trucks themselves and then the equipment. The first one is the equipment that's on the list. And so we had 2 quotes, one from Burt's out of Moorhead and one from Towmaster out of Litchfield, Minnesota. You can see that Burt's bid at $187,181 per truck. Towmaster bid it at $191,320 per truck. Burt's cannot guarantee us when they would be able to provide that equipment when the truck is delivered to them. Towmaster is giving us March of 2027. So it's our recommendation that we go with Towmaster because then we're guaranteed to have it probably the beginning of April at the latest of 2027. and spend the extra $4,000 per truck.
What happens if they can't deliver?
We don't have a truck. Well, that's not true because we don't get rid of our trucks until the new ones come in.
Yeah, okay.
So we keep on using our old truck until we have the new trucks on hand. And then we
And they're fully aware of
auction
this.
off the old trucks.
Bert's is aware that if they pull that, they ain't gonna.
Yep.
No, that's their downfall.
Bert's has had our last two trucks for a year and a half, and we still don't have them on hand yet.
Oh my gracious.
So
Yeah, it's not been good.
I know my maintenance superintendent, not too happy with it, but originally when we quoted, they weren't supposed to be getting them until late 24, early 25. They got to them early 24. So based on their work schedule, if they had scheduled us for August of 25 or September of 25, and they got them in 24, we're down the list. So I can understand, but to make it simpler for these two, Towmaster gave us a date. So that's what we're going with, and that's what we're recommending. So
And I've heard from other counties too that are having issues with Bert's.
I mean, Bert's does good. They both do good work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just with no guarantee, it makes it kind of difficult.
So move for Litchfield.
Second.
Okay, for Towmaster?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you said?
For Litchfield.
Okay. Okay, okay, what's Gary and Warren? Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So now you have the two trucks themselves. Two quotes, one from RDO Truck Center out of Fargo for Mack, $158,936, and Boyer Trucks out of the cities for Western Star at $161,829.09, and we're recommending RDO Truck Center out of Fargo for two Mack trucks at $158,936.
So move.
Second.
Okay, Warren and Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
So the last thing is we have two pits that we no longer use for gravel, one in Liberty Township, one in Angus Township. We advertised for leasing that property for hay and grazing. We received one quote from Angus and one quote for the Liberty property. The quote for Angus from Strobel's in the amount of $10,600 per year, and the one from Taylor's for Liberty at $600 per year. So the first motion is to award the quote to for the Angus property to Damon and Arlen Strobel in the amount of $10,600 for 2026, 2027, and 2028.
So move.
Warren,
Second.
seconded by Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next is for the Liberty property to Patricia K. Taylor in the amount of $600 per year for 26, 27, and 28.
I will move.
Paul,
Second.
seconded by Warren.
Quite a difference in prices.
I was just gonna say,
Yeah.
what's the
Mhm.
price?
Well, so many different reasons. One is location of the land. The one that's Strobel's and Angus is really close to some housing, so they don't want anybody out there. So by putting cattle on that property, haying and grazing it, it keeps people from hunting and everything else on that property. And so that's one of the reasons why they're willing to pay so much more for that land. Right now, we don't have a policy as far as hunting goes on county land or camping. we're still working on that. And so hopefully in the future, we will have a policy on hunting on certain parts of land and camping in certain areas, and then we can more regulate stuff like this.
Is this like similar to what the past 3-year bid was?
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Okay, for both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Taylor's has always been 600, and this one's always been higher, a lot higher.
Okay. We didn't vote on the second one yet, did we?
No.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
No, not a problem.
Okay, so what do we want to do? Do we want to continue trudging
Yes,
through?
I am positive, but I can go down and make copies and I'll put them on your desk.
Okay.
Or have some, one note. So we received the state award for paving on CASA 6. Recently, we just got a letter in the mail that we received a national award on our hot in place recycle project on CASA 9 from Crookston to the Red River.
Yeah, that's in Austin, right?
In Austin, Texas, yes, February 19th. And so I'll be originally was planning on traveling to Washington, D.C. on December 18th and returning on the 24th, 20, something like that, whatever Tuesday is. Now I'll be flying from Crookston to Austin, receiving the award on the Tuesday or Thursday morning, and then flying to DC that afternoon. So just wanted to inform the board that my travels have changed slightly. I'm still out of state for that time frame, but in a different route, I guess.
Is that that's a ledge conference, right?
Legislative conference, correct. So
I did tell him.
Well, I mean,
I don't think it did.
I mean, I
cost
think he
us
needs
any
a
more for me
chaperone.
to fly to Austin versus back and forth to.
I'm sure it'll be after the Packers Super Bowl.
So we still have a chance.
I was thinking your voice sounds like you're yelling at your television.
Cowboys still have a chance too. They think they're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Well, you never know.
Oh, okay.
Well, Jones can buy his way in.
Yeah. Well, Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas,
New Year.
thank you.
So, okay, so
Greet your family.
Decision time.
yes. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to
keep going?
Should we keep going?
Yeah.
Let's charge through.
Sam can go. I'll go get Elisa and
Mark
and Rick.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Find yourself.
Yep.
Let's talk some tobacco licenses.
Yes. Well, while we're doing that,
That's how it goes in the iron.
Anybody? Should we get more coffee?
the other thing was if anybody had any ideas for the extension committee,
Yep, I did.
being we've got that coming up on Thursday.
For membership?
Yeah, I believe it was it yours for Ray?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd have to come and get your
And
All right.
because I just know Lisa's going to ask about it on Thursday.
coffee. What was that?
The extension committee.
Oh.
I've got to call an individual.
Yeah, Gary looking for somebody to replace Ray, and I think
I still need somebody, and I've been
Yeah.
asking everybody I know.
She's my travel agent now.
I got young people, but they're still in college, and I don't want to when they get back. But
no, it's like I said, just a reminder of I'm
Yeah.
there. I know we're going to get asked about it on Thursday, so
I'm looking. If they come up with a name, that'd be good too. But it's hard. Aaron was good.
Yeah, but his attendance was.
Yeah, be marginal.
It was marginal.
Mm-hmm.
We're on a break.
no.
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 All right, so it was killing time while I scrolled.
Oh, no, that was just their conversation.
Oh, yeah. No.
Anyway, so what I've got for you today is the 2026 tobacco licenses. Looking for approval. Everybody who is on the list has applied and submitted application and paid for. the application or the fee. So I'm just looking for approval to send in or distribute these tobacco licenses for 2026.
So move.
Okay, Warren,
Second.
seconded by Gary. I don't know which leg I was gonna use to kick, so. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. I'll get us
Yeah.
back up to Elisa.
But just, the conversation on attendance, I mean, like when we appoint someone, and I mean, even for ourselves, when we're on a committee, we expect
Gotta be
people
there.
to,
And,
yeah,
it's a quarterly meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody who's watching is interested in extension.
Yeah.
She's got a lot for you to go through here. Yeah, I'm getting back up. We're done with mine, so.
She's on her way, everybody is coming down.
Perfect.
Okay, good. Remember holiday train tonight at 6:30 in Plummer.
I know. Got 3 other things going. I'm gonna choir concert in Boston.
And it's not even gonna be that cold.
I know.
I mean, I took the cold to Chicago with me.
You brought back some nice weather, Joe?
Well, yeah, I got yelled at because 2 days before I went to Chicago, it'd been 40 degrees, so.
Oh.
And rain.
Keep it in Chicago. I don't want that coldness up here.
Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah. Okay, you folks are on a roll today. You just want to keep going, huh?
Yep.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, so today I'm here requesting approval for revisions made to our personnel policy manual that'll be effective January 1st of 2026. I basically just attached what is changing in the personnel policy, so it's not the whole 101 pages of the personnel policy, and I will go through them, and if you want me to dive in deeper, just let me know, but highlight basically what's changing, okay? So first is the rest period, meal period revised based off the 2025 statutory changes. So good for Polk County is that we've already allowed 20-minute rest breaks and meal periods, of course, which is awesome. So we go above the 15-minute requirement by the statutory requirements for the state. However, the changes do imply if employees are going to work through rest breaks and meals that we're required to pay them double time. So we want employees, we are ensuring that our employees are taking all of the required breaks and meals, which we do a very, very good job of here in the county, but that has changed and is a mandatory requirement now in 2025 to pay double time. Second is the gratuity change up to 18%. That was actually effective 1/1/25, so we've already adopted that. And some of these have been adopted and already implemented, by the way. Juneteenth holiday has already been adopted and accepted, so we're just adding that into the policy manual. Sick leave and ESST policy, the revisions there were some revisions effective 1/1/25 as well. Basically, the statute states they expanded the definition for the use of sick leave and ESST. There's broader definition what employees can use first of all, and the main thing that did change is now that employees, if they're out longer than 2 days, they are required to bring in further documentation to the employer. So it used to be 3 days. So now on the 3rd day, we're requiring further documentation, doctor notes, etc. 2 days versus 3 days as we have in the past. So that's kind of some of the bigger changes there. Instead of going back and forth, I'll try to scroll back and forth here, but effective 1/1/26, the county has adopted longevity pay for non-reps, and we put the schedule as follows as to what that entails. Under section 14.0, so start of the 6th year, non-reps will receive $50 a month, the 11th year $60 a month, the 16th year $75 a month, and the 21st year $90 a month. But that is effective 1/1/26. Funeral leave as well was revised in the personnel policy from 3 days to 5 days. I may have passed that.
You did.
So we allow, okay, I did, thank you. in the past, we've allowed 3 days, and now we have broadened that range to 5 days for funeral leave. Next is the FMLA policy as it relates to the Minnesota paid leave policy, which I did bring the new Minnesota paid leave policy to the board a couple weeks ago. As you recall, we had to add that policy and all the requirements into our personnel policy as well. So this is effective 1/1/26 for both. Lots of questions out there already, employees looking at utilizing it. So it's a good thing that there's this program in place and ready to go. And we will be working a lot with the state on processing this. And it'll be a little clunky at first until we understand it more fully and understand the process online and figure it out. But employees are inquiring about it, and there is some good processes in place right now. We just have to see.
There's a payroll deduction.
Yep. So state requirement was a minimum of a 50-50 employer-employee split, which we approved. And so the employee will see, and it's a percentage of their pay, and everybody will be a little different, but they'll see a new deduction code on their pay stub starting January 1st of 2026 after that first play.
Is that apply to them as well? You don't remember?
Yep, commissioners are eligible for this program too.
Can I ask a question about that last part?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm jumping on Shelley's question.
I
If you
didn't
go
know
back
if-
up to it, for the part-time employees,
Mm-hmm.
it says and holiday pay that receive.
It says
If
prorated
you go up,
vacation,
go up.
sick leave, and holiday pay.
Yep, and right now, it's to my understanding that the holiday pay right now for part-time, you're not getting that. So I would still recommend going ahead and applying to see going through the process and filling out the application for it.
I'm not asking for the applying part.
Yep.
I'm asking if that is the way it is, that means I don't qualify, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But then do I have to still pay it? Is my question.
Mm.
If throwing in the holiday pay, which I'm allowed only 29 hours pay
Mhm.
period,
Mm-hmm.
I was told after
Mhm.
if you work 32,
Mm-hmm.
then you get the prorated holiday pay. I don't get the holiday pay, which is fine.
Sure,
I don't
sure,
have an issue
sure.
with that.
Right. No,
But if I don't qualify based on that, do I have to pay it?
It's a good question. I will have to email that question.
Well, I asked Sarah 2
Yep.
weeks ago, and all I keep getting is
Well,
we're waiting.
I think it's because too, honestly, we're not getting answers as quickly as we would like either. So this still is very new to everybody. So I don't have those great questions ironed out yet, and I will as soon as we can figure some of those things out. And I don't know yet. So if there is a exception that needs to be made to that, by all means, we can look at removing that deduction and or making whatever we need to do.
Because I have not done that acknowledgement.
Sure.
Because
sure.
to me, if I acknowledge that,
Sure.
I'm saying, yeah, go ahead and take it out of my paycheck. Which
Sure,
I'm not
I get it.
agreeing with
I get it. Yep.
Okay.
I understand. Very valid question. I wish I had the answers to them all, but I think the state needs to have some further clarification around that one. So thank you for that, Shelley. Drug and anything else regarding the Minnesota paid policy, folks, before we move on? Okay.
So, I mean, like, okay, so we went with the state to handle this, and I know like
Yep.
some went with
The
private.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard that the private was cheaper. Can you verify that?
I can't
or-
verify that. I can tell you that we did, receive some. It could be cheaper for the first year, but it's not to say that that's the rate that they will provide the second and third and fourth year. And the state is giving us a 2-year guaranteed rate. But what the private, from my understanding, the implications on the tax side and the reporting of the taxes is something that the private plans are going. Now, this is not because we don't have that plan, but I'm hearing that there could be some different types of implications on that side. I don't know. Whereas the state plan, the way we have it set up and going through the state, they already have like our unemployment insurance information, and they understand that. And the way we have ours set up, it should roll out more smoothly for Polk County. Again, knock on wood. I don't know that for sure, but like as far as the tax implications to the county and to the employee, I'm hoping that this is a smoother transition. I don't know that. I don't know what the other private plan and how that's going to be. Yes, they may have offered a slightly lower premium rate to the employer and the employee, but There was a lot of still unknowns too. Either way, it's a new program that everybody's trying to execute, and there's going to be roadblocks and challenges either way. I can't tell you if one's going to be better than the other. And this is just what we decided this year. If we decide we want to switch, we have the right to switch to a private plan next year. We went this option this year because of those reasons. And
Okay.
Yep.
So how much does it cost?
Total? I think it was, I don't know.
I
Off
mean,
the top
is
of my
it
head.
like just a lump sum, or is it like per employee, or?
So it's, so the rate was 0.88, and it was a split between employer and employee. So
Okay, so it's the 0.88 is what the cost of it is.
yes, per employee. So then that equates to be, I mean, we can calculate that out.
Okay, yeah. So then like
what's half of that the employer is paying,
and then the employee pays the other half. But what the total 0.88 then goes to the state, correct?
Yep.
Okay, that's what the
and then when an employee is actually out and they apply, and if they are approved, then there is a calculation based off of their rate of pay for the last 12 months. There's a calculation the state will do, and they will get a percentage of their pay. And that'll be different for everybody.
Okay.
And then the employee has the opportunity, if they choose, we will allow them to supplement if they wish, vacation and sick leave.
Okay, I understand now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, good question. Very good question. Lots to come still, you guys, with this. I'm not gonna kid you. Like, this is just one of the it's a good program, but it's
confusing.
Yep.
And I mean, it's typical state government of here's what we want you to do, but you figure out how to do it.
And either way, if we would have went with the private plan too, mind you, the employee still has to apply by them. They're coming to me, I'm guiding them. They're coming to how do you guide them to go to the website? You have to create your own account. They have to, I will then have to log in and view whether or not employee has been approved or denied.
Okay.
So
the commissioners have this account?
You'll have to, you create your own account on a Minnesota Paid Leave website. Yep.
I ain't doing it.
Yep.
Sorry.
No,
Again, it's for those that need some sort of support throughout their time frame, their career with the county, as an employer. It's an employee insurance program. It's an employee insurance program. We're paying into it. It's there if we use it. It's just like car insurance. It's health, it's there if we need it. We pay into it because we want it available if we need it. And it's, the reason it rolled out is that it's shown in the 13 prior states that have already adopted this program that it helps retain employees. It's supposed to be a retention tool. Allows a little bit more flexibility, but at what extent? At what extent? I don't know if there's a happy medium. We'll see.
So then we're going to be paying into it also.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
It could have helped Commissioner Polk.
It could have.
So if you can personalize a little bit that way. This is
Yep.
not just a.
Could have went out for a med. Yep.
It's like insurance.
Yep. Yep. Good point.
Oh, happy day.
Okay. So more to come. And then the final one is the drug and alcohol policy has been revised to include the statutory changes that is it related to all the cannabis changes. So we have revised and referenced the changes to cannabis, including testing, usage, reasonable suspicion, and all of the above. And it's a rather extensive policy because our drug and alcohol policy includes a lot of things, including, non-DOT testing, DOT, those employees are required to have a CDL. We do quarterly testing for that. So it's, there it is. This is the whole drug and alcohol policy.
It's a lot of red.
Yep. And this isn't the whole policy. I just gave you what was changing. Then there's a lot in our personnel policy as well that's not here.
Okay, go to page 78, back up one. All right. Under the 28853 one, failed drug test. the last line in that is test positive on his first test. Why his? It should be.
His or her. You're right. You're right.
I found that by accident.
You're right.
It wasn't that I read every.
Yeah. You're a fast reader, Warren.
Well,
you're right.
I was objecting to that.
Okay, I will get that revised for you. So I am here to request motion and action to approve the revised Polk County personnel policies effective 1/1/26.
This has got a little bit of a dual purpose because some of the policies you've already done. We're updating the manual. There are new policies, so you're essentially saying these are now the
Current
policies, and they're the changes to the existing.
Before they change again tomorrow.
Okay.
Which they won't, because
No, but I mean, in 2026, there'll be changes, of course.
So moved.
Okay, Gary,
Second with the correction.
Noted. Noted.
second by Warren. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Happy holidays, folks.
Yep, same to you.
Take care.
Okay, Mark.
Good morning.
No, it's afternoon.
Afternoon now.
You got any typos?
Let's roll down.
I guarantee I've probably got something. Keep your eyes open.
It's all right. I left tired things off the.
Wow, she's got a lot of stuff here. All right, here we go. Okay, my stuff is pretty simple stuff. It's just some statutory notifications that I need to do, and then a review of abatements per our abatement policy. First off, is the notification of changes. According to state statutes, notification of changes to the 2025 assessment after the county Board of Equalization must be fully documented and maintained in the assessor's office and available for review. These changes include clerical errors, Board of Appeal, equalization changes, homestead changes, forfeited property, which is mainly in the auditor's section there, and also exempt property, including new plats, splits, property combinations until the end of the year. There were no unusual changes during this period. If you have any questions, information is available for review. And for this, I just need, I'll just go through the clerical changes as well. Clerical errors are narrowly defined as errors made by someone doing the work of a clerk, including math errors, transposition of numbers, key punch errors, and coding errors. They do not include errors of estimations or incorrect data used in making those estimations. So we have 4 that we were able to identify. The first 3 are just some modifier changes regarding the power line credit, and then the other one was a clerical error or a evaluation error that we noticed, doubling up of some numbers. And for these 2, I just need a acknowledgement of the receipt, or do you have any questions on it first off?
No. Okay, so need a motion.
Above.
Warren,
I will second the acknowledged receipt of notification.
okay, Paul, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Okay, the next thing I have is for our abatement policy, we're required to review the abatement list at the end of the year. got a total. Just kind of review the totals here. Total of 163,245 in abatements, but 139,048 of them were approved. They were those are those red ones that we are required to bring to you. Those are those fertilizer plants that had extra allocations there. So that's the bulk of it. We also had 3,274 in tax court cases that we just had to run through, and then the rest 20,923 in just in typical internal ones that we are not required by the policy to bring to the board. There were, after I submitted this list to Chuck, then we found that there were a couple more that came up, and I'll just, if it's okay with you, I'll just include them with next year's list as well.
Okay.
Any questions on this?
No. So looking for a motion to accept these abatement listed.
So moved.
Gary,
Second.
seconded by Warren. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Question.
Mhm.
Did you get a call or some communication from Carla Anderson, Finance Director in East Grand Forks?
Yeah, I think we did. I think I'm correct. Anna Lee got that as well.
I would assume, what was it?
Well, they had their hearing and there were some questions about it, and they were.
Yeah, I think what she generally wants is that list that I provided to the commissioners, except for just regarding the percentage of valuations, except for just for the city of East Grand. So I did provide that. I think it was to her.
Yeah, well, she was asking me if I wanted to deal with them. Well, I had no idea how to deal with them. I said just pass them on to Mark.
Yeah, that's good. That's
all right.
As long as I remember to do it. So hopefully I'll double check when I get back to my desk, make sure
All right.
she got it. So
Okay.
that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, same to you. Richard.
Afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon to you.
Guess that looks like me right there. Okay, well, had received bids for that water heater project at the Justice Center, and there ended up being a bit of an issue with our low bidder. They didn't fill out their end date of the project, so that basically it ends up throwing their bid out. So the two bidders that were left would have been Hammers Construction and Lunseth Plumbing and Heating. So currently the Lunseth Plumbing and Heating then would be the proper low bidder for the project.
Was that the low bid anyway? Would
they have been?
With the bid, yeah.
No,
it wouldn't have been.
There was a difference of a few $1,000s. Yeah.
Okay. Well.
And so then after we worked through that and Brent from Woodseth Smith and Olding has recommended the acceptance of the bid from Lunseth Plumbing and Heating to do the project.
You scroll down, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there a chance that might be needed before 120 days in an emergency, or is it
No, we're
fine?
we're fine on the days because we have the system intact, and the system won't be coming offline at all during the process. It'll be just a matter of throwing a few valves and turning a couple pumps on. So that in itself is not a problem.
Is there just one water heater for that?
What we're doing is removing 2 water heater boiler units, and they're replacing them with, it's called a plate heater. We're going to use the new boilers that we put in 2 years ago. That is actually going to be the heat source. So they're high efficiency boilers, and so we're just taking and we thought about this ahead of time before we put those boilers in. I mean, this was on our minds that we would do this in the future. So the capacity is there, and then of course with the high efficiencies and the newer equipment, I mean, it was just a good time to do this. The water heaters that we have, the current water heaters we have, they are working. We've had a lot of problems with them. They're very expensive to fix and extremely expensive to replace. So this is a really good way to go.
I want to scroll down so they can see what they're bidding.
Okay.
So then you're looking at both the base bid and the.
Yes, the alternate. Yes. Yeah.
So it'd be combining those 2 numbers.
Yes.
I would move the Lunseth Plumbing and Heating Company bid.
Okay, so that would be a total of. So 256,200. Does that sound right?
256,200. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Gary made a motion for Lunseth,
I'll second.
seconded by Warren.
It's a lot of water heater.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely where the difference in the bids comes in. So, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And just a note, when we had been working on this project and proposing, our numbers that we were working with, we came in under with both of them here. So it kind of a nice feeling there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the second item is replacement batteries for our UPS systems at both the jail and the LEC. LEC, of course, that's where the 911 system and everything is backed up out of.
Mm-hmm.
And Justice Center, all the security and whatnot is all backed up with the UPS system. And these batteries, currently, they're at, well, 2 months ago, they were at 4.5 years old. They recommend replacing. They got a lifetime of 5 years. So, figure this was a pretty good time to move forward with taking care of this.
Mm-hmm.
And we have money in the budget to take care of that.
They were bid out too, or?
Well, it's through Eaton. Yeah, it's through Eaton. They're the ones that handle all the.
That's the one
quote. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Are they the only company that has batteries like this, or?
That I'm aware of that runs these systems, and of course, talked to Levi and whatnot, and he said, we want to stick with these guys.
Okay. Okay, so looking for a motion.
I'll move.
Warren? Was that?
Second.
Second by Paul. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
That includes installment, or you'd have to do that?
Excuse me?
That, the installment, everything, that's.
Yeah, that's all included in that
that's
price.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So how many batteries is it?
Oh, man. What is it? 36 or what? Or how many is it here?
Yeah, I guess I didn't look at the number.
It was 36 and one.
Quantity of one. So
It looks like one of them, there's 36 in one of them and 40 in the other.
Wow. No, batteries are, even for car batteries, their price has gone
Oh,
up.
it's crazy.
that's a lot of-
And this is specialty work, you know. I mean, there's it's quite a process. It's not like just grabbing a battery and stick it in, pull the other one out. You know, it's quite a process to get that job completed.
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
Anything else for me?
Nope.
All right.
Have
Thank
a
you.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You also.
Okay. And last on the agenda.
Me. I'm the only thing standing between you and Christmas.
We are an hour and 15 minutes ahead, Chuck.
Well, we
don't tell him that.
Yeah, I had an apple fritter, so I'm good. The first item I have is approval of lease renewal for deed over in our East Grand Forks building. We have a policy, essentially our practice of increasing our per square foot lease rate by 1% a year. That would mean over the next 5 years, the county would earn about $22,281 on the 2 front offices that are in that building. We have had 3 offices that we've leased to them. One, they basically have not used. This one up here. This is the front door as you come in. And these 2 offices here are the offices that they lease. So rather than leasing this 3rd one over here, which again, they never used, and we have had some interest in using, I believe it may now be a mailroom. I might need to ask Karen that, but it's the front 2 offices. So there's a lot of lease language. The state likes to have a lease number, and then every amendment is an amendment to that original lease. So this is about the 4th amendment. So you're going to see some language in there that is no longer relevant, but it's for those 2 offices for this amount, these amounts here over the next 5 years. This will get us until January 31st of 2031. So we'll do this again then.
All right, I'll move.
Second.
Warren and Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you.
Now on to the fun stuff.
All right, 4 budget-related resolutions. Kind of prepped you on this the last 2 meetings. I think we've got everything locked down. Finance Director Grover is here in case there's any questions I can't answer, but certainly think that you can expect to see more of the Finance Director and as we do future budgets here at the county. The first resolution, 2571, actually sets the levy. The levy is $29,249,178, a 3% increase over 2025. I have that one first, because if you don't want to do that, then the rest of them are all going to have to be dealt with somehow. So obviously, my recommendation at this point is to approve the levy. Breaks down according to these amounts. Basically, general levy of the general government department's debt, which we actually have a higher debt amount than that, but we are using some fund balance. And the rest of the departments, we do single out Tri-County as they are joint powers, although for our fund accounting, it would be under a public safety fund number. Unless there's any questions, I would recommend approval of that resolution.
Okay, looking for a motion for
So moved.
Gary,
I'll second.
seconded by Warren. Any discussion?
My only question was early on, if we could do something, and I know it ain't gonna happen, but I asked for more money to go to the fair. It's the only thing I asked in the whole thing, and I know that hasn't changed, correct?
You're the only one that asked.
Yep.
So,
but
you can, and the chair also talked to me about reducing some contributions, and I might suggest that if there's interest in changing it, that we just deal with it in January, February, whenever you'd like to.
Okay.
I also think if you want to wean the groups off the county funds, that we give them a heads up that this will be coming in succeeding budgets. They can adjust them.
I just want it known publicly, that's all. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
The next item is resolution 2025-72, which actually approves the budget. And a copy of that is included. This is the new Questica format, which is a more of a vertical presentation than the horizontal one that you're used to, which is this one. Eventually, we will not be seeing this again, but right now it's a little more simple to work with in terms of adding, subtracting the final levy number, the department's numbers, revenues, and expenses go across the top. I've gone over use of fund balance in the past, which is actually simply an under levying of those departments. And then the final total is a 3% increase. So what you have there is what would be kept in my office or right outside my office for public viewing of the actual budget. And if there's anyone interested, either commissioner or members of the public watching, we can actually break it down by line or maybe some other formats if there's interest in it. Should also mention that we added in the solid waste related budgets, which show up over here. These are non-levy supported departments. So if you count everything up, it's just over $89 million for the county's budget. That's actually down a couple of $1 million from last year. So that goes up and down depending on capital.
Yeah.
Essentially.
A lot of times it's roads.
Yeah, roads. So I would recommend adopting resolution 2025-72.
Okay, so this motion is accepting the 2026 budget.
So moved.
Gary,
I'll second.
seconded by Warren. Any discussion?
Just that I do support the 3% levy increase.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, just pause here and note that this is where I was 2 years ago when we lost Randy Beggs. It's kind of hard to believe that happened, and it happened at this point, and it happened 2 years ago already.
Yeah.
I've updated the budget presentation, noting that it's been approved. I was optimistic. I won't go through this, but it's all there for you if you want to go through it again. We'll get to the next resolution. There we go. This is the resolution 2025-73. This sets the commissioners' salaries, per diems, and the meeting list. After this number of times, the commissioner annual amount goes up by the COLA, which is 4.25% that the employees are receiving over 2025. Eligible commissioners also receive county employee health insurance. Those who are on Medicare can opt for 2/3 of the monthly contribution, which is just under $1,233 a month. If you have proof of insurance, appreciate it. I've already got it from one commissioner today. Good job. So then we have the list of meetings that we reimburse you for your attendance or participation in whatever way, shape, or form. Pretty much standard stuff. And if we find something that doesn't fit on here during the course of the year, we'll bring it to your attention and you can request that it be added. Otherwise, I'd recommend approval of 2025-73.
Okay, so looking for a motion for this resolution.
I'll move.
Warren,
Second.
second by Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And the last resolution is the resolution that sets the wages for non-represented employees. Those are the positions that are not included in previously approved collective bargaining agreements. We also have new and changing positions noted in here, plus wages for our 2 elected department heads, the sheriff and the county attorney. This is the wage grid reflecting the 4.25% COLA increase for all employee positions. This is the same grid that is in our collective bargaining contracts, and it is set up in a way to ensure that we are in compliance with pay equity in the state of Minnesota, and we certainly try to be positioned competitively for attraction and retention of employees. Here are the positions, their grade, of course they're all non-union, and their department and how many positions we have. The ones that are highlighted are the new or changed positions. I'll go over those here in a minute. They're all a little bit different. Hopefully we haven't left anybody off of there. We've done that in the past, but I think we've got those all accounted for now. The positions new or revised, we did budget for a position in finance yet to be determined. So we don't have a grade. We budgeted, I believe, $75,000. The hopeful start of April 1st. It's 75% of a full budget. We changed, or we added 2 social services supervisor positions with the understanding that we're not filling 2 vacant positions. This is to assist with management. Most of the social services supervisor positions are grade 17. This would be an April 1st start as well, again, meaning that it's 3/4 budgeted for 2025. And a financial assistant supervisor, grade 14. This is all in support of our changes in finance, but the employee count will not change. Then we made the changes in the county attorney's positions. We increased county attorney 1s, 2s, and the first assistant attorney by grade, going from for the 1s from 18 to 19, from the 2s to 19 to 20, and the first assistant from 20 to 21. Then the positions that you have some discretion at setting various ways. Myself as county administrator, basically this is step 9 of grade 22, the 2026 grade, that is a annual amount of $173,512.80. 2 meetings ago, we agreed to set the county attorney's compensation at the same amount for 2026. Sheriff, with a 4 1/4 increase over 2025, is at 146,556 effective January 1. We added in the longevity, which you dealt with here a few minutes ago in the policy manual update. And then these employees, like everybody, gets the county cafeteria plan contribution of $1,850 a month. This covers the composite health insurance premium. We do have a couple on that list that are in the PEEP plan, being sheriff and the chief deputy, but all employees receive that $1,850. And that accounts for the changes coming. I'd like to have this as part of the plan, but occasionally we do have positions that have to change or be modified. And we'll probably be working on the grid as we get into the first of the year, because we typically do a market study at this point in the 3-year window that we have for collective bargaining. So, but at this point, what matters is acting on 2025-74, and that's my recommendation, and that is what is in the budget at this point.
Okay, so need a motion.
I will move.
Paul?
Second.
Just going to explain what happens when I
be involved in that.
goes home.
Yeah, I hear where you're going there.
They're part of
Huh?
a weird standoff that nobody
Seen this several times.
Seconded by Gary. Any discussion?
On the longevity thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's only for non.
Actually, this is in all of our collective bargaining agreements.
That's what I mean. It's just on
Same
those
amount.
folks. It's not for people with contracts or
Elected officials.
elected officials.
No,
Not
it's-
elected.
No.
No.
But union and non-union.
Okay, so
employees.
you
Correct.
would, and
Yeah.
department heads too, right?
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
they
great.
if they fall under that.
And that'll
over that
include
6th year.
that'll include the sheriff and the attorney as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's just not the county board.
it's just not us. That's great. But
That would be-
everybody that works here,
now everybody is there. We realized that we had some people that were not in collective bargaining agreements that were getting the longevity, and then it was, well, what do we do? You give it to everybody, you take it away, or you come up with something different. There really wasn't any reason to do something different than.
I think that's a great incentive thing.
Because
It's
there
great.
had been some that were under union contracts and then, you know, job descriptions changed and they were pulled out of the unions and then they were still receiving it,
Yeah,
so.
it took a long time to do that.
Yeah, so, okay.
I just wanted to understand.
Yep.
Sure.
Any other discussion? Well, all those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried.
Yeah,
Any,
we don't all have to go home now.
anything else?
No,
No, we all don't have to go home.
you can go wherever you want. There's no requirement, and it's not on the agenda. So that does complete the agenda for today and for 2025. Thank you for all your help.
Yes, well, thank you for everything you do and all of our employees.
Yes.
They are, everybody, they're our backbone, and without them, we wouldn't be able to do the things we do. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone, and we will see you back here again on January 6th, 2026.